Jay Crawford, Adam the Bull, Garrett Bush, Dustin Fox, Jason Lloyd, Tyvis Powell, plus, ba-da-da-da-da, you're loving him, Mikey McNuggets. And so many big names, it would take me hours to say all of their names. The ultimate Cleveland sports show starts now. Booyah!
Welcome, everybody, to the latest edition of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Along with Jason Lloyd and soon Tyvis Powell, I'm Adam the Bull. There's the empty chair that will be known as Tyvis Powell shortly. We have Anthony, Mike, and Steve on the other side of the glass. Earl up in his perch, and plenty to get to today. It is the last day of Browns minicamp, Jason. This is the way people have been keeping stats of the actual stats on the field, the way that people have been obsessed with the depth chart. It's like the final day of the regular season in a way.
You would think that this was like the third preseason game. And even that, we're making a bigger deal out of this than we do out of that.
I mean, it's crazy, but, you know, it is what it is. People are excited. Dylan Gabriel threw 2 big touchdowns yesterday. Shador threw a big touchdown yesterday. All that matters is what, you know, like how they're playing, not what the stats are. But if you say what the stats are don't matter, people get mad at you. For some reason, you can say everything else good about a player, but if you say the stats don't matter, So now I'm just going to focus on the fact stats don't matter for Dylan Gabriel, that he threw touchdowns. They don't matter at all. All right, so a lot to get to. The Guardians, do their once-a-week hitting. That's what the Guardians do. They score, they score 10, 11 runs once a week.
It was like he got busted on a cover 2.
Yeah, there you go. And they had to catch up. So the Guardians score like a double-digit runs once a week, and then the rest of the week they score combined like 6 runs.
Yeah.
That's their MO. I always love when the Guardians have one good offensive day, the fans that tweet at me and say, do you still think they're the worst offense in baseball? As if the Rockies and White Sox don't score 10 runs every so often. Well, maybe not the Rockies. I don't know. But they do. They actually do score 10 runs every so often. And so plenty on the docket today. We'll talk with Jori Epstein, who was at Browns minicamp. Is she still there?
She's calling in at 11:30 today, so they're practicing. So I'm guessing she is left last night.
Okay.
Maybe we'll be proven wrong.
So we'll talk with her. Jason was at minicamp. We'll get his thoughts. Tyvus, for some reason, is spraying water on his head. We'll find out why and more
Hey,
after
the
we talk to
bonnet's
Mike.
gone.
Yeah, the bonnet's gone. Why are you spraying water on your head?
So when you have this done, you can't scratch. So this soothes the itch.
Oh, so
I
it's not water.
This is water.
Oh, okay.
But I can't scratch it. So
Is it really itchy right now?
it was.
Because the new stuff's growing in?
Give me some. Oh yeah. That's good.
I see what it was like having a Jerry curl back in the day.
Wait,
Now
before
that would be sweet. Now we got to get Tyvus with the Jerry curl. Like that would be pretty.
I
sweet.
would actually love to see that.
That would
No,
be
it's not
awesome.
happening. Well, you know what? Anything's possible.
Anything's
Did you see
possible.
that? Did you see that guy see that show? I think it might have been on Peacock. It's probably one of only 2 things I've ever watched on Peacock. It was called Fight Night or something with Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
That was a really good show.
It
There was a lot of Jerry curls on that
It's
show.
only been 2 shows I watched on Peacock. That one and this show called Teacup.
Oh, was that any
seen it.
good?
It's like a horror type thing.
No, I don't like horror stuff.
It was like
Yeah.
it wasn't bad though. It was interesting.
The only thing I ever watched on Peacock besides that show is a show that's really good called Dr. Death. Not a horror show.
Oh, you know what? You told me about that.
Right.
And my
I think your
wife
wife likes it.
and
Yeah,
mother-in-law watched the whole thing.
It was great.
Yeah.
2 seasons so far. Hopefully they'll bring it back.
Hang on, I got to
Yes.
tell you about last night.
Tell us. Oh, yeah. So speaking of which, to set this up, first of all, Mike came out once again for my little league, my team's little league, and we're going to play that video later. And we were talking about it before the show, and it led to Jason's crazy frustrations. Not little league. Your son's older, of course. He's in the 8th grade right now. But go ahead.
I'm curious to get
Yeah.
your as a fellow coach.
Yes.
And we struggled last night. Did not have a good
rough night.
Very rough night.
What's the name of the team?
Avon Lake. It's
just
just
Avon
Avon
Lake.
Lake.
Okay.
I'm not going to say who we played.
Okay.
I don't want to embarrass anybody.
Or yourself.
I mean, I'm the one who admitted it.
Okay, good.
And I think I was right because I always think I'm right.
I like this. Let's see.
So we were, I mean, the defense was struggling, having a hard time throwing strikes. Like,
Yeah.
just a bad night.
There's nothing worse when the kids can't throw strikes. That's just the worst.
We were down,
Yeah.
we lost 22-6. So it was a run rule. It was 15 after 4.
Right.
So it's a run rule. Actually, I think it was 15 after 3, but in our case, it's 15 after 4.
Right.
And the last night it happened to be 15. So it's like 19-6, 20-6, 21-6.
Yeah.
And the other team keeps stealing. It's 19-6,
Yeah.
and they're still running, stealing second, stealing third,
Yeah.
stealing second, stealing third, stealing
I'd
second.
fight.
And I'm sitting in my chair. I've never said a word. In 2 years since I quit coaching, last year and this year, I've never said a word. Like, I
So
watch.
you just spectate.
And I just
And
watch.
right now
I
you're
just
not
watch.
coaching.
I'm now coaching.
You're just a parent.
I'm just a dad.
Okay.
I'm just a dad watching my kid.
Okay.
But I'm watching these kids it's just a merry-go-round out there. And the kids are a little bit older. This is 14U. So like at some point,
right.
At some point, it's stop it. If you don't like it, stop it. But I don't quite think we're there. Like you have to have respect for your opponent. And I couldn't help it. I forget who was sitting next to me. I said, I'm going to light that coach's ass up when he comes off the field. And he starts walking across. The third base coach starts walking across, and I said, 22-6, and we're still running. 22-6, and we're still running. And he looks at me and he goes, I didn't tell him to steal, sir. And I said,
That's even worse.
I said, well, you didn't tell him not to.
That's worse.
Right?
That's worse that he said that.
Right?
Yeah.
So I was hot.
Yeah.
But I let it go. I let it go.
I love it.
So it gets better.
Yeah.
So AJ and my daughter Ava
Yeah.
wanted to go. There's an ice cream stand like literally across the street from my house.
Right.
And AJ's girlfriend was there last night. And he's like, hey, can we go get ice cream? I'm like, oh, I wonder why. So her and her dad were there, whatever.
Yeah.
So I drop him, and I had to run home real quick, and I was going to go back. And he texts me, he goes, Dad, that team we just beat is up here.
Yeah.
And I said, good, I'm going to finish that conversation with the third base coach. So I
Wait,
walked.
did you guys win or lose?
We lost 22-6.
Where were you?
They didn't
Well, no,
lose.
so
they
were
got
getting
rowdy.
outraged.
the other team's third base coach.
The other team's
Yes.
third base coach is their head coach, and he kept,
Yeah.
and they
Right,
just
right,
kept,
right. Yeah.
And I didn't say anything at the ice cream
Okay,
place.
yeah.
I just let it go. But
I appreciate the bitterness and the holding a grudge that you have.
it's
there.
ridiculous. When I coach,
Yeah.
once you get to like 8 or 9, you call off the dogs. At 21-6, 19-6, 20,
Yeah.
and you're still stealing. Come on, man.
I tell you what, you write a whole article about me then, because if I'm coaching, it's not my fault that your team ain't prepared.
In college, you're right.
And say vice versa. Even if I'm on the other end, I ain't gonna say nothing because I need to be better.
I think at 14, I think we're getting close to that point. But I don't think
feel
we're
differently
at that
when
point.
your kids are
5. Roll it.
Everybody's
they could be
entitled.
6 years old. Roll it.
No.
Everybody's entitled to their opinion. I happen to agree with Jason on this.
Roll it.
In fact, last night we'll see the package. Last night we were missing 2 of our 4 best players, and we were playing an undefeated team, the best team in the league. And so I knew it was going to be a rough night, and we had a rough night. And the kids fought and played hard. I played, some kids that had never played different positions, to give them an opportunity. Kid pitched for the first time. Kid played first base, catcher, all these different positions. And I let the kids coach the bases, which we never do.
Yeah.
So they had some fun in defeat. And they fought hard. We didn't get mercy ruled. It was a one-sided, but we didn't get mercy ruled. So I was proud of them. But the other coach, who I'm friendly with, shout out to Kevin Buddy, the other coach. And the teams are new each year. He's won a championship 2 years in a row, and he's got the best team this year.
Wow.
I don't know what magic he's pulling out of his hat.
And you've yet to be over 500, so we got to start looking into what works and what doesn't work.
The Kevin Buddy magic. But,
well, if this was the Knicks, they'd fire you and try and get him from the other
exactly.
team.
We tried to steal him. But we didn't even talk about it, but there was a point in the game where they were handily in front, and he started doing station to station. Not even on just the steal. They stopped stealing.
Wait, what
but
is
also
station to station?
In other words, when a kid got a base, he had first and second.
One base at a time.
Right. And a kid got a hit to the outfield. The kid going from second to third could have scored easily, but he stopped him at
I
third
got
base.
you.
Okay. And I appreciated that. I thought that was classy, not to rub it in our face.
That's right.
It was a rough night. He knew we were down 2 of our best players, and he knew we were very likely not coming back in the game. And I think the older you get, like in the really young ages, you could wait a little longer because you could have a 10-run comeback in the little ages. But once you're like 11 to 14, 15, once it gets to 8, 10, you take it down a notch. I think I'm with you. Now, I would even not go bananas in high school. College and beyond, I don't give a hell what you do.
Run it up.
That's it. Those are adults.
Yeah.
But when it's kids,
Listen, you need to make it. You need these kids that's losing like that. They need to know how embarrassing and how terrible that feels.
Oh, they
so
know.
They
already know.
Want to do it again.
They already know.
It makes you practice.
You think anybody
and be
wants to
harder.
lose? Come on, they're little kids. Let's go. Anyway.
when
his girls get to athletics.
Your kids are young now. You may change your mind later.
I'm gonna tell them. Listen, if you see this loss, me and you gonna be in the back, and we gonna figure this out. We gonna get this together.
Tyvus is one of the nicest people I've ever met, but when it comes to sports, he's ruthless.
You gotta be.
He's ruthless.
Bull. But I am a firm believer when it comes to sports.
Yeah.
If you don't do it to them, they'll do it to you. So you better do it first. That's just what it is.
I'm not going to get into it. Forget it. Let's go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, we got a lot to get to. I can't wait to get to the end of the show. We're going to play What's More Likely, then do the poll package. So make sure y'all stick around to the very end to check that out. But we'll dive into our first topic today after a quick word from FanDuel. The NBA Finals are going on. The Pacers lead 2-1, and you can bet on Game 4. Anything you want with FanDuel. FanDuel makes it easy to stay in the game before tip-off and live with player props, performance trends, same-game parlays. Fans have more ways than ever to play smart and win big. If you're new to FanDuel, it's the perfect time to sign up. Head to FanDuel.com/UCSS and place a $5 bet. If it wins, you get $200 in bonus bets. Once again, that first $5 bet, if it hits, you get $200 in bonus bets if you use the promo code link, FanDuel.com/UCSS. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. We'll get into the NBA Finals in overtime today, but I wanted to shout out a winning ticket from Eddie who sent it in today. Our guy Eddie won $140.95. He bet the Pacers money line and Lou Dort to score over 10 points. Both those hit. He turned 20 into 141. If you have a winning FanDuel ticket, make sure you send it to us as well. Shout out to Eddie. That's a very nice win on a FanDuel
Mike,
ticket.
one question on the NBA Finals real quick.
Shoot.
Do you still think the Pacers have no chance to win the series?
They got a chance. I still don't think it happens, but they certainly have a chance.
If they win, it's bad for the NBA.
Why?
We'll get to
By the way, I don't care what's bad or
We'll
good
get
for
to
the
all
NBA.
that in overtime.
I don't know why anybody cares what's bad or good for the NBA unless you're a player or a media member. but I don't care. But I don't think it's bad. But anyway, go ahead.
We'll get to that later. What I want to start with today is some reaction from one Jason Lloyd on the first 2 days of Browns minicamp. He was out at Berea. We have not had Jason back on since, and we've certainly seen plenty of videos. We've heard Kevin Stefanski talk. We heard maybe all 4 quarterbacks talk at this point. Yeah. Some of the defensive players are talking today. We heard from Denzel Ward. But, Jason, you were out there for 2 days in Berea checking out the quarterback battle, some of the other position battles in person. What were your big takeaways? Who stood out to you using your own 2 eyes as your observation tool?
My thoughts haven't really changed much on the quarterbacks. It sounds convoluted. I think Kenny's going to start. I think Joe's looked the best.
But I think Kenny's going to start?
I've said that all along.
So?
I still think so.
I thought you changed your mind.
No, Mike said that yesterday. He goes, "What?" And I said, I never really flipped.
Oh.
But I've said, Joe still got it. Joe's, to me, has looked like the best quarterback. But, I'm not an NFL head coach or GM. To me, watching him, I like Joe. But I don't know what the benefit of playing a 40-year-old quarterback, so I think Kenny's going to start. I've always thought Kenny was going to start. I think Kevin really likes him.
Yeah.
I think they like the way that he sees it. I think they'll like the way he can move around, doesn't throw interceptions. And ultimately, they're just chipping and putting and biding time until next year when they can draft the next guy. And then
if it's that simple, then why did you use 2 draft picks on quarterbacks?
Because the fifth thing, the one on Shedeur was a little eye-opening, but I think you got a year to kill, so you might as well see what you got in these guys. You know what I mean? You might as well take a shot. Maybe you run into one. I don't think Kenny's going to play the whole year. I'm just saying who's going to start week 1.
To me,
does Joe make the team?
Not if Kenny Pickett's starting.
I don't know. Everybody keep talking about every time I.
What's the point? If you're starting Kenny Pickett, honestly, Kenny Pickett starting is the dumbest thing I can imagine, because if you're actually trying to win, you start Joe Flacco. It's that simple. He's the only one that gives you a legitimate chance to win to start the season.
Okay.
In my opinion. And if you're thinking about the future, you can convince yourself into any guy with enough opportunities being good. I don't know how anybody could see Kenny Pickett as a good quarterback. The guy's got smaller hands than I got a big toe. I don't know what is happening here. This guy can't play. How are we not seeing this?
All right, so play this out. You start Joe.
Yeah.
Joe plays how many games you want him to play?
6.
I think it depends.
What's the difference if you play Joe, if you play Kenny, 6 games? What's the difference?
Well, first of all, I don't. To me, you start the quarterback that either gives you a better chance to win or has the most upside, and I don't think he fits either of those categories.
I think Kenny has more upside than Joe because Joe's 40.
I hear you, but I would rather start either of the rookies than start.
But I think that I don't know that they want to throw these guys into the Lions' den.
I hear you, and I'm not even saying that I'm definitely right. I'm just saying, in my opinion, it feels like a waste to play Kenny Pickett because, for me, I see no upside in him. I'm not saying it's impossible that there's upside. I'm just saying I don't see it. I see personally that Shedeur Sanders has the most upside. This disingenuous conversation about, technically, factually, that Dillon Gabriel was drafted higher. I get it. I can't imagine there are many people in the NFL that think Dillon Gabriel has a better chance of being a quarterback in the NFL than Shedeur Sanders. He dropped because of other things.
Yeah.
He didn't necessarily drop out of the first round because of other things, but he dropped all the way to the 5th round because of other things. It seems pretty clear to me that he's the more talented player of the 2 rookies. And so I just don't. And plus, if you're trying to not start the rookies because you think they're not ready, there's going to be way more external pressure to play the rookies if Kenny Pickett is starting versus Joe Flacco.
I don't think you can worry about external pressure.
Well, but the Browns always do.
You can't worry about that. But
how has he looked?
Who?
Dillon.
I thought he had his best day that I've seen him throw Tuesday. I thought Tuesday was his best day.
Okay.
He had, I think there was a couple clips of him. He had a really nice touchdown pass. Yesterday he was fine. He was okay. But Tuesday was the one day where I thought, like, yeah, okay. You can see
what are the odds a 5'10" quarterback is going to succeed in the NFL?
I hear you. I don't think it's great. I don't think
it's slim because what's the shortest? Bryce, Kyler, and Baker? Is that the shortest?
But Baker's 6 foot.
Russell Wilson.
But Bryce and Kyler at least are elite athletically.
What about Russell?
This guy's, I guess, fine athletically, but he's not elite.
What about Russell?
How tall is Russell?
Probably 5'9",
5'10",
5'10".
5'11". Is what he's listed at.
Well, you got one guy who's not elite athletically that was good player.
I wouldn't totally dismiss Dylan, but you would like the guy to be 3 or 4 inches taller.
I agree.
For sure.
Yeah.
But he's not, so this is the reality that we're in. I think Shedor's looked better than Dylan. I've said that all along. I thought in this camp, from everything I've seen, I thought Shedor looked better than Dylan. I thought Joe has looked the best of all of them, but I think Kenny's going to start week 1.
I think that the safety, I think, like, to put them out there and be confident in them, I feel like that's more of a Dylan thing. But if you want the guy that actually can be your franchise quarterback that can change things, then you go with Shedor. And I just, from a standpoint of, I just feel like it's something about the fact that people just gravitate to him. Like, I know right now I think he took reps with the ones, was that yesterday, 2 days?
Shedor?
Yeah.
I didn't take any.
He has not still.
No.
I seen a report that said he had some reps with the ones.
I have not seen one.
That's crazy.
And Kevin was asked yesterday about his lack of reps with the starters. No, he hasn't taken any.
What did Kevin say?
He's clearly fourth on the depth chart.
Does the depth chart
That's
matter?
what I've been saying all along.
Who cares what the depth chart is in June? Does that matter?
But
Does
we're
it ever
in
matter?
It doesn't,
But we're
but like
in June, so this is where we're at.
Kind of
Right.
ridiculous, like that everybody else can get 1 reps, but he gets.
Well, I agree with that.
That's
but
ridiculous.
What did Kevin say about not getting reps with the 1?
Don't read into the.
Well, then why didn't he just do it? Or why doesn't he just do it? So he stops getting asked the question.
Like that's ridiculous though. Like I thought at this point, especially the day that Joe rested, and it was just the 3 quarterbacks going, he definitely could have took some 1 reps.
I haven't seen it.
That's ridiculous.
It is. It really is.
So what was the point? At this point, I feel like now you playing with him. Like why do that?
I don't know.
Like if everybody's coming out and saying he looks good, the ball comes out, he's making good plays. ESPN Cleveland got him as the greatest.
Oh my God, they're ridiculous.
Got him as the greatest. His efficiency whatever they're charting, it's like the dude throw 1 or 2 incompletions every day and throws nothing but touchdowns. So if that is the case, how has he not got a rep with one? That's inexcusable.
Maybe they don't think he's any good.
But Dylan Gabriel, on the other hand, I've seen I don't know if he has or hasn't. People say he's throwing interceptions. Some people say balls is bad.
We can't listen.
I know this is why I should have went yesterday.
Most of the people that are reporting things have no credibility.
I should have went yesterday and seen it.
I don't know. We don't know what's really happening. Jason was actually there. Zach's been actually there. Those are the people we have on this show. They've been there. I can't the people that I don't trust. I don't care. Well, like ESPN is a clown show right now.
Either they are just boosting his stats, or the Browns is playing with him. Like that's one of the 2 things is true. ESPN Cleveland is just boosting his stats and just feeding the Shedor crowd.
You're going off stats when he's not going against the ones.
So, but still,
so they're counting stats.
He at least should have earned the right.
I think we all agree on that. But Tyvis, again, like we can't get caught up in the stats for any of these guys. You know that better than anybody.
He just said he was the second best looking quarterback
but
there.
That has nothing to do with stats.
It's not the stats.
I'm not talking about just the stats.
No, but that's what we're saying. Are the coaches looking at these effing statistics?
No.
Right, exactly.
But that's not what I'm talking about. If Zach Jackson and him and everybody else that we talked to have said that Shedor looks good. He looks really good.
Yes.
He looks better. And we got Zach that say Dylan Gabriel ain't even an NFL quarterback.
That's true.
So how is it that this man can't get a rep with the ones, but that non-NFL quarterback can?
We all
what
agree with
sense
that.
does that make?
It makes no sense.
Clearly, the guys running the team disagree with us.
Man,
it doesn't make any sense.
They're the ones.
What are y'all trying to? What is the goal of this year?
Ty, can I give you some solace?
For the record, I am not an NFL head coach. I've never claimed to be. I'm not an NFL scout. I'm not an NFL GM. When I walk onto the field and I look at the field and I watch him throw and Dylan's throwing checkdowns and Shedor's throwing it 25 yards on a dime down the field, I can only go by what I see.
What makes Kevin Stefanski more qualified than you, Jason? He didn't play in the league. You may be more qualified than
his checkbook for one.
Okay, maybe.
Ty, I'm going to give you some solace real quick. Because I think we're all in agreement. And Bull, you just said it. We disagree with how the Browns are handling it, at least up to this point.
Of course. It doesn't make any sense.
Tyvis, here's the good news. the Browns have botched every quarterback decision they made in the last 30 years. So because they are handling it this way probably means, or at least could mean, they're making the wrong decision too.
Okay, so
that doesn't do anybody any good.
My thing is this: what if we get to a point where you have to make a decision on a rookie?
Yeah,
they're not cutting Dylan Gabriel.
They're not cutting Dylan Gabriel.
They're not going to cut either of them.
That's why I asked, and Zach knows the nuance of the roster better than I do.
Yeah,
and when we had him on, I said, "Is there a world where you carry 4?" And he said, "Yeah."
Yeah, he did say that.
Maybe they carry 4. Maybe they find a way to carry all 4.
But if they don't,
that's
it's
ridiculous, though.
I agree. To me, either Flacco or Pickett are gone. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. We'll see. One of the veterans will be gone.
That's what I said when they drafted both rookies, was that Joe was gone.
And maybe one of the 4 guys gets hurt, and then the problem solves itself. I mean, Mary Kay's still saying that Deshaun Watson is in the mix. I mean, listen, we got crazy times out here.
It is kind of unbelievable.
I tell you what,
in the mix. How can he be in the mix?
You want to throw a wrinkle in all this. Let him be ready for the season. Oh man,
you know what?
Is it gonna be Deshaun and 2 rookies?
I would rather Tyvis Powell play quarterback for the Browns than Deshaun Watson, and I mean that wholeheartedly. I 100% mean.
I just said
that's absurd.
That is 100% accurate.
Nah, I'll tell you what, I'm throwing check downs because
that's all Deshaun does.
That's all he did. I just said 6 minutes ago you can't worry about public pressure and all that.
You about to back?
No, I'm just saying if 4 goes out there, there will be a revolt.
Oh my God!
Of this fan base,
You think there's a player on the team that wants him playing? I can't imagine.
I feel like he got friends.
Not many.
I mean,
did I see? You know all the veterans.
They all moved up to watch him, wrist up, huh?
You know all the veterans, and you know this because you played. The veterans all want Flacco to play, right?
Yes. Probably,
of course, because they want to win.
Correct.
It's easy.
This is literally Joe Bitonio's last season in the NFL. Why would he not want to win?
You think Myles Garrett wants to? Has he Kenny Pickett playing quarterback? These guys, we could say all we want. The Browns stink. They can't win. They can't win a Super Bowl. The players can't think that way. Maybe down deep they do.
They know. They know they're not going to the Super Bowl.
I know that, but
they know.
Listen,
but they want to win every game.
You want to go to the playoffs?
You want to win.
If everything go absolute best case scenario, the Browns can go to the playoffs. That's not impossible.
No, it's not.
Can they win the Super Bowl? No, they're not winning the Super Bowl with any of these guys at quarterback. But could they get to the playoffs if everything broke right for them?
Sure.
Yes, they could. And would Bitonio rather go out of a playoff season than a 3-14 season?
Yes, of course. Every player wants to win every game, every Sunday. Of course, yes.
I refuse to sit here and believe. I can't let this go. I refuse to believe this man has not taken a rep with the Woods. I don't want to believe that. That can't be true. That can't be right.
Jason, you were out there for the whole thing, right?
I mean, I'm not out here today. Obviously, I'm sitting
here.
But I was there. I was there the last 2 days.
There's no way that is correct.
Zach Jackson's reporting Flacco is getting the first team reps today. So that's
I don't understand. Why?
Why?
Why does Joe need first team reps in June?
Well, you still got to get him ready.
Is today?
If you think he's the starting quarterback, then why is Patrick Mahomes taking reps in June? Why is Lamar Jackson taking reps in June?
Because those guys are the quarterback. Well, there's no chance anybody else is going to start.
But they're still install. It's not like people roll out there with
they're changing
the
offense pretty drastically.
All right, then announce him as the starter then. Let's go. I like doing that.
Wait, how did you go from he doesn't need any reps to announce him as the starter?
This is the first of two spectrums we've seen
I'm just frustrated because our GM is terrible. I'm not sure about our coach, even though I used to really like him and everybody's obsessed with him.
You flip-flopping again. Huh?
I'm just not sure.
Well, I got the answer.
There's this lot of propaganda that he makes quarterbacks better. I don't know what quarterbacks had their best year with him.
Real quick, I found the exact quotes from Stefanski on the quarterback reps not looking.
And folks, he's been coach here long enough. Stop typing Stefanski with a Y. Let's go. Get your act together.
I keep seeing PH.
Or PH.
These were he was asked 2 different times yesterday
Yeah.
about the order of the quarterback reps and why people shouldn't look into him too much. These were his 2 quotes from his media availability yesterday. The first one, quote, "Like I've told you guys, let's not look too much into who's out there and when. We're in the installation phase, in the teaching phase, so not much to look into with that. Second quote.
Use the question for a frame of reference.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Do you have the question there?
No, I'm just Zach typed out the answers. I'm reading
right, go
from
ahead.
Zach. Quote, we're so far from that type of thought process. Honestly, we're in our installation phase. It's the off season. It's OTA, so we're going to keep the focus there. Once you get into training camp, of course, you're going to get ready to play games and ultimately getting ready for playing the season. But right now, that's not our main focus.
That's the same answer to both. It's a bullshit answer. And he's got it. We need an answer. We need a real answer. Kevin Stefanski talks in circles. Stefanski, Berry, Antonetti, Chernoff, they all go to the same nerd school of answering questions.
Wait a minute.
I'm getting sick of this
We
crap.
have an update on the order of
Good
quarterbacks
catch.
today.
Good
Tyvis,
Go ahead.
this is according to Zach Jackson, the order of quarterbacks with the 11 on 11s today. Flacco first, Pickett second, Gabriel third. Haven't seen Shador yet.
That's how it's been.
So wait a minute. Steve Becker said he wanted me to let you know that Kevin Stefanski got the most. You said what quarterback had their best year?
Yeah.
Philip Walker did.
I just don't understand what the Browns are doing, but they never do really anything right. So you're right, Mike. They F up everything.
I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say he's wrong as far as installation parts.
Yeah.
But like at some periods, like.
But why won't he answer the question?
He did answer.
No, he didn't. He said it doesn't matter. That's not a legitimate answer.
I mean, that's not.
Why? We asked. The question was why hasn't he been with the first team? And his answer is evading the question. It's not a real answer.
He never answers anything on the record.
My thing is.
So what's he saying off the record? Do we have anything? Let's rat him out.
What I don't understand is both quarterbacks are coming from the closest to Kevin Stefanski's offense. They say was Pat Shurmur at Colorado, correct?
I don't know.
That's what they say. That's what they say.
Who's they? Who is they?
This is what I heard over the draft process. Everybody said Shador is the easiest because he played in a similar offense. Pat Shurmur was with Kevin, taught Kevin stuff, blah, 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 blah.
Yes.
But if it comes to like the classroom, maybe that's what it is. Maybe in the meeting rooms, Shador is not picking it up as fast as Dylan. Yes. And that's why he's running with the 14 because it's more.
And he doesn't want to say it because you don't embarrass him.
Yeah, or maybe it's like more slower. You got time to make mistakes or you know things like that. You're trying to figure. It could be. I'm not 100. I'm just trying to figure out what it is. Because if you're telling me that you've seen Dylan Gabriel take reps with the ones, that's happened.
Absolutely.
I'm going to tell you something else that
don't make sense.
Something else I just saw. Mike, play that montage again because you got something that's annoying me. And this is like maybe other teams do it, but this is loser mentality.
My boy DC.
Let me show you loser mentality. Not that boring drill.
My boy Denzel.
Not that boring.
The
drill.
Warden.
How many things is this here? This might be this play. No, it's not this.
Touchdown.
Dude, don't run into the goalpost. What do you like?
Act
like you've been there before 89.
I'm mad about these wide receivers.
Running into the goalpost. I got random white dudes with weird numbers. That's the little Dustin Fox 37 right there.
That's the guy from Minute.
All right, what is happening? Where is that the same montage you just ran?
Yes.
All right. There was one thing where guys like broke up a pass or did something. Is that coming up?
Probably.
Maybe it's this.
I'm not sure. This is a handoff to Quinn.
Oh, that's real practice. Seeing a running back get handed a ball with nobody
this
playing.
This is what they do. What do you want?
And this is what we're reading into. All right,
that's my point.
Maybe this is it. Watch this. Watch this embarrassing thing that happens after this play. Watch this. How embarrassing is this? Oh, my God. I mean, look at those clowns. That's clown behavior right there. What is that?
Celebrate a PBU?
It's a practice where we're not tackling and they got a choreographed dance.
Hey, cool it off.
Cool me off.
Cool it off. You practice how you play.
That's what it's about doing the celebration. We're going to have a choreographed celebration.
Boy,
what did they even do?
Listen, you got to enjoy what you're doing, all right? Like, we out here for an hour and a half. It's 80 degrees.
God, a whole hour and a half?
Maybe two. It's 80 degrees on a random June day.
It ain't two. It ain't 2.
Doug Deacon was practicing.
You need to stop.
Doug Deacon was practicing 15 hours a day.
If I make a play in
cartilage in
practice,
his knees.
if I make a play in practice, it's like I just made a play in the Super Bowl. I'm celebrating. I'm doing everything. I might get a delay. They might have to pull me off the field because I'm doing the whole people's elbow routine. How about that?
All right. We got our next guest ready, and our next guest is someone who was in Berea for Browns minicamp.
I think, by the way, from now on, every time I make a good point on the show, I should get up and like start dancing, fist bumping.
You should.
I'm in.
Let's go.
Good. We're going to bring in Jory Epstein in 1 sec, but first, say goodbye to sticky notes, scribbled plans on the fridge, and overlapping calendar invites. The Skylight calendar is here to bring clarity to the chaos and help families stay organized without the stress. The sleek digital display syncs with your existing calendars, Google, Apple, Outlook, and more, making it simple to track appointments, practices, dinners, and reminders, all in one easy-to-see place. Right now, Skylight is offering our listeners $30 off their 15-inch calendars just by going to skylightcal.com/NFL. Go to skylightcal.com/NFL for $30 off your 15-inch calendar. That is Skylight, SKYLIGHTCAL.com/NFL. And with that, we are thrilled to welcome in Jori Epstein. She writes for Yahoo. She was in Berea covering Browns minicamp the last couple of days. And, Bull, she did laugh at your idea that was a ridiculous play to celebrate in minicamp. Just a heads up.
Because she knows I'm right. I don't know. The players do whatever the hell they want.
Can't
I
even
find
enjoy
it annoying.
your craft no more.
I mean, it's practice, Jory. Are you okay with celebrations from practice? You believe in that?
It's so funny. So the first 7 years of my career, I was in Dallas, and Jason Witten was very much like, act like you've been here before. I also think you have a little bit of like DBs in secondary, like they're going to have swag. Receivers probably are too. So should they do it? Like, I'm not impressed, but I also think that like that's kind of how that group works.
If you make a big play in a game, I get it.
Next time I write a story on Deshaun,
yeah,
I'm going to do the people's elbow.
That's it. That's it. All right, Jory, we were talking. I don't know how long you've been waiting, but we were talking about we're kind of not understanding why Shedeur Sanders is getting no opportunities with the first team at all. Kevin Stefanski keeps downplaying it as if it means nothing, but he doesn't really answer the question. Do you think it means something? And are you surprised that he's not getting opportunities?
Yeah, I think let's start with who is getting opportunities. So first of all, Joe Flacco, as we know, veteran, he got very few snaps this week and made sure to let us know that yesterday when he was talking. He's like, I'm not getting a million snaps. It's kind of hard to get into a rhythm. But the reason that Joe Flacco is not getting a million snaps is because Joe Flacco, they know what he can do. They know that he knows how to run an operation. They know that he understands cadence. And quite frankly, he understands Kevin Stefanski's offense because of his time with the team in 2023. So when you say, okay, Kenny Pickett's getting some because even though he's a veteran and understands generally how to play at the pro level, he's not familiar with this particular offense. He hasn't spent a ton of time under center. Let's get him up to it. But the guys who need the most work right now are the rookies, and that's not a knock on them. That's because they don't have pro experience. And then I would even say that Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders arrive at the NFL with pretty different levels of foundations, not because of, this is not about where they can go. This is about where they can come from. And where they came from is Dillon Gabriel played for 3 schools, all sorts of offenses. It really had a much wider range of foundation, in my opinion, in terms of the offenses he was exposed to. And so I think he is a little bit ahead of Shedeur Sanders, and I think that's reflected in who's getting these snaps. So I would say, to answer your question, now that we have that context, the reason Shedeur Sanders is not getting first-team reps is because it's going to take a little bit of time before operationally and from a cadence standpoint and from a playbook standpoint, he is ready to excel then. And they're not trying to put him in a situation where it's just like obvious how unready he is for that.
Jory, when do you expect, that we can start looking into the depth chart? When should, as a fan, should we be like, all right, we see this guy is now getting first team reps? At what point? Is it training camp? Is it preseason? Is it joint practice? What do you think?
Yeah, it's funny. I met with Cleveland general manager Andrew Berea yesterday. I'll have a story up later today on Yahoo. And among the things he said to me was, look, some teams say 70% of the snaps go to your starter in training camp. And he's like, but why does it have to be that way? That's not the only way to structure a practice. Obviously, we know they've been doing two-spot. They've been making sure to get everyone in OTAs and minicamps all sorts of reps. But I think even in training camp, there will be an element of that of they are trying to prepare for week one, prepare for the 2025 season, and also evaluate so that you know by 2026 what you have in the quarterback room. So I think, to me, this is a two-tiered quarterback battle. We can call it a four-way quarterback battle, and I understand the competitive juices they're trying to spark by doing that. I would be shocked if either of the rookies started week one, and I think that's a good thing. I think that for the rookies, they should be glad that the organization is not trotting them out immediately, because Kevin Stefanski just requires a very high level of pro understanding to run his offense with the timing and like operational mastery necessary. So, I mean, from a depth chart standpoint, I would say, like, really the question is Joe Flacco or Kenny Pickett going to start week one? And then is Dillon Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders going to show you that in the middle of the season, there's a chance that they should come in?
So is Kenny Pickett or Joe Flacco going to start week one?
I think Joe Flacco. I think Kevin Stefanski is going to feel more comfortable with him. And I think that Kenny Pickett would really have to ball out. It's not a knock on Kenny Pickett, but again, he's starting behind. And I think if Joe is healthy, the goal is just to be able to allow everyone else to succeed around him. And I think Joe is going to give people a higher opportunity. I also think that when you consider Andrew Berry's history of using resources in a really wise way, he kind of came up in that Howie Roseman mentality that Philadelphia is very aggressive with how they use their resources. Probably the best thing Kenny Pickett can do for the Browns is get an asset back. And that's not, again, not a knock on him, but one of the reasons you stack a quarterback room like this is so that you have assets for yourself and assets to give to other people. And I think that if Joe is able to do what he needs to do, Kenny is probably more valuable to the Browns as a trade asset.
Unfortunately,
for me, absolutely, we can have 4 quarterbacks. He's not saying that, but that's what I'm saying.
You're right, probably. Unfortunately for Browns fans, while Howie Roseman gets every draft pick right, Andrew Berry gets every draft pick wrong, pretty much, with very few exceptions. Hopefully he's turned it around this year. Forget the quarterbacks. They've drafted 4 guys high that need to make immediate impact. Obviously, a defensive tackle, running back, tight end, and linebacker. I'm guessing you can't tell anything about those positions in a minicamp, but are you expecting their top 4 picks to make an impact immediately? Or am I being unfair expecting that?
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because I was standing next to Andrew Siciliano at one point during practice, and he kind of points to the left and to where Mason Graham is, and he goes, "You'd never know it based off what we're all looking at, but the 5th overall pick of the 2025 NFL draft is working out right there." I actually think this is great for Mason Graham, that he'll be able to fly a little bit under the radar right now. I mean, it's funny. I did a pre-draft feature on Cam Ward, the Tennessee Titans' 1st overall pick at quarterback, and Cam's family told me, like, they're like, we love that Shedeur's getting all of the attention, so Cam can kind of just do his thing. Like, he doesn't want that attention. And I think Mason Graham is getting that too. I would say that you can't tell much about offensive and defensive linemen in the spring. This is about them kind of getting up to speed and understanding what the responsibilities there are. But with the offseason restrictions imposed by the NFLPA, you can't tell much about them. And even running backs and linebackers too, I would say. So the question is more like, are they going to be ready for training camp? But you shouldn't be making any sweeping assumptions on those guys in June.
No doubt.
Jory, I want to ask you about the left tackle situation, because it's something that we've all been enamored with, the quarterback and the defense and all of those things. But the left tackle position is something that's very important, as you know, for an NFL's team success. And DeJuan Jones, obviously, he's coming back from injury. This will be his first full year starting as the left tackle. What did you see out of him? Or should we, as Browns fans, be confident that he can get the job done?
I don't want to be that person who said, I just said you can't see anything out of offensive linemen in June, but I might need to be the person who said that. No, I'm just giving you a hard time. But I would say that I think, again, the question is, what is he doing? But really, you're not going to be able to tell anything about an offensive lineman, even in training camp, in my opinion, because I've had conversations with Mike McCarthy about this through the years. really so much of the left tackle is going to be like, are the 5 guys on the line operating as one? Because if he's doing something on his own, but it's not in concert with the left guard and the rest of the line, then how is that going to work? So, I think he's massive. I would say that Dillon Gabriel is funny. He was asked, have you ever had a teammate as big as DeJuan? And he was like ready to go, told us about the 6'11" tackle he played with and understood exactly how tall everyone was. But I don't think that you can make like a sweeping assumption. So I think in terms of the concern level, yeah, you should always be concerned if you have questions at your left tackle because of the importance of the position. But I think it would be hard to say he's ready or he's not ready based off what we saw in June.
Joe, I want to ask you about the third string right guard. No, I'm kidding.
I will say when I talked to offensive coordinator Tommy Reese yesterday, he comes out and he's like, so we're here to talk about the offensive line, right? And I was like, I'd just like you to know I've written about tight ends and linebackers recently because I don't want to be the national reporter who only writes about quarterbacks, but you got to write primarily about quarterbacks.
You got to write primarily about quarterbacks, so let's just keep talking about the quarterbacks. I'm going to ask you a question you cannot possibly answer, but I love these. Who cares? When we get to the end of the season, who will have started the most games at quarterback for the Browns this year?
Ooh, that's a great question. I kind of want a wild card go Dillon Gabriel. Like, I'll say Joe Flacco starts 7 games and Dillon Gabriel starts 9 games, and then like someone else starts 1 game because the NFL is brutal and you never know what's going to happen from an injury standpoint. Not that I wish injury on anyone, but that would be my prediction.
That will be it. We will have a miserable fan base if that is the case.
So you're on record. Shedeur will not start more than 1 game this year.
I don't think he will.
Yeah.
And again, I think if you're Shedeur, that's not a bad thing. And he even told us this week, he's like, I have time. Like he said, I got time. And he knows that. And I think that when you look at how often teams fail quarterbacks around the league, the biggest reason is because they rush them out there too quickly. And so I think that it will not be a bad thing for Shedeur, nor will it be an indictment on him if he doesn't start this year. It will just mean that the Browns are actually committed to developing him.
If you're right, if Joe starts 7, Dillon starts 9, they're taking another quarterback at the top of the draft next year. Yes or no?
The question would be, what does Dillon look like in those 9 games? Because Drake May had a similar situation last year. And when he did that, the Patriots were like, we got our guy. And they had their guy so convincingly that Mike Vrabel was like, cool, then I'm going to just like go work for you because I have a quarterback there. So if Dillon can do what Bo Nix did, what Drake May did, what Jaden Daniels did, and I'm not putting Drake May on the level of those other two, but if he can show he's got it, I don't know that they'll make the quarterback draft, but I will say I think that this organization just believes in allocating a disproportionate amount of resources to the quarterback position such that if they really like a guy in the first round, they're not going to let anything short of like a complete breakout year keep them from drafting a quarterback. So really, I think it'll actually come down to, do they like the first round quarterbacks next year?
All right, Jory, I'm done with this offensive quarterback talk. I'm a defensive player. I'm a DB myself. Give me a name in the secondary. Tell me somebody that stood out and made some type of play that I can hang my hat on.
Ooh, a name in the secondary. I will say we definitely had some past breakups. So
thank you.
So there's definitely some of that. I should have all the names ready to go for you, and I do not have all of them.
Is it because we play defense?
Nobody cares about the defensive back.
What do you mean?
Okay, I would like to note.
This is unbelievable.
I would like to note. I did request an interview to Monte Casey, but he wasn't the one specifically having it. So I've got a name for you, but it's not the same one who is making the breakups. But DeMonte Casey, I did talk to, and I thought it was interesting hearing how he's getting up to speed on that secondary, having played in the AFC North recently with the Steelers. And I also thought one of the things, and you're going to hate this because I'm going to bring it back to quarterback, is he was talking about how he and Shedeur Sanders were he was giving Shedeur Sanders some tips about like, hey, the way you looked me off on this play, like that was helpful, or hey, the way you looked me off on that play, that was less helpful. But I do think that the defense is ahead in a lot of ways, especially when they're going against the rookie quarterbacks at times. I think there are times when you say like, hey, the third string defenders are getting burned. And that's when we saw the touchdown from Shedeur to Gage Larvadian. I got that wrong the other day. But I definitely think that the defense is doing it. It's also like, you guys know this, the OTAs and minicamp are so stacked against the defense. And so they are making plays, but also this is about the offense being able to do their thing and set up their installs. Like, and I'm not saying it should be about that, but the defense is just at a disadvantage a lot of the ways that these plays are being run. I remember there's a time when I was playing high school basketball and I had like a great practice and the coach was like, what were you guys doing playing defense against her? Like, everyone run. And I'm like, wow, that's what happens when I do well. It's like we all get punished. So I kind of feel like it's that type of thing where, like, realistically, if the defense is playing well, the coaches are viewing it more as the offense messing up.
Did you play in college?
No, definitely not.
Okay. Well, you laughed at that, so
yes,
all right.
yes, not well.
Not good enough to play college.
Intramurals, but
okay. So let's wrap it up with this. How, and you got to give an honest answer here. How did the Browns media food stack up with other places you've been?
It was good, actually. I will say
Really?
they have a solid spread, diversity between Tuesday and Wednesday in terms of what was there. And I came from the Cowboys where they just didn't give us food. So the fact that media food exists was already a level up, and it was better than the Jets food when I was there last year. So
wow, the
high
Cowboys
grades.
are low-key cheap. What is with that? How do the
food at
Cowboys
Jerry's
not
World's
provide
always been
media
awesome.
food? What?
I've always had good food at Jerry's World.
She just said they had no
yeah, but you're
food.
asking about
she wasn't at
practice.
Jerry's
You're not
World. She
asking
was
about
at the
games,
Star.
right? Yeah. I'm talking about practices. The Cowboys have food at games. Everyone has food at games.
No,
but
I know.
they don't-
But
they
that's
never
what I'm
gave us
talking
food
about,
at
Mike. I'm
practice.
talking about practices.
And I'm saying in my
Because
limited
Jerry Jones
experience
is like,
at
I
Jerry's
built a
World,
facility. Yeah, Jerry's perspective is like, I built a facility, a practice facility with like 30 restaurants on site. Go spend your money there.
It's not on the teams to feed the media.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. That's not their job. The Browns once a
go.
week. The Browns supply lunch once a week, although I wasn't expecting it yesterday.
Yeah.
I was getting ready to leave, and then I saw the fajitas out.
And
I was
then
like,
Jason-
don't mind if
he was
I do.
back
There was
in.
like a lot of options with those fajitas, right?
Yeah.
There's like meat and there's the
Nice.
calabasitas and this.
They
And
had some
there's a lot going on.
salad.
Well.
They had a salad. They had fruit salad. It was good.
The Browns may
That's good.
suck at many things, but they're good at food
But
spreads.
no, their Sunday food
Yeah,
sucks.
terrible.
Game
Bad
day-
Sunday
game
food.
day
Yeah,
sucks.
all right.
Joy, I do have one last question before we let you go.
Although
I
they
saw
did
you
add
had-
an ommlet station, and that's
That's
big
good.
points for
I like that.
All right, go
Ooh,
ahead.
I love
I
an
s-
omelet station. Not gonna
I saw
lie.
you tweeted about Joe Flacco and TikTok dances, and I'm curious. What
Oh, yeah. I
question,
forgot about that.
Yeah, I wanted
That's-
to,
that's a
what
bad
question
job.
sparked that? Because his answer was great.
Yes. Okay, let's see. TikTok dances. I've got that right here. So he was being asked about, I think
Social
like
media,
some of the
I think.
videos he'd been doing with Shadur and some of the things that were going on there. And he was basically like, yeah, I'm willing to pose for a picture with Shadur, but I'm not willing to do dances. And it was a great answer. His whole thing was like, I'm not saying I shouldn't dance with my kids, but why do I need to broadcast it? I should do it just more privately. Like, you guys should all dance at home and not have to broadcast every part of your life. But then he actually was kind of interesting. So like, if you want to have good social media, you want it to be authentic to your life, and that just takes a lot of work. And like, I definitely understand where he's coming from there. But he had a lot of old guy moments yesterday. I was asking him about like 2-a-day practices, and I was laughing so hard as he was telling us how he tells all these like, and when I was coming into this league, I had to learn 120 plays for OTAs, and it'd just be over and over again, and we had 45-minute 2-minute drills. And he definitely wants Dylan and Shadur to know that if they think this is hard, it was a lot harder when he was coming in.
Yeah, it certainly was. Thanks, Jory. We appreciate the time.
Awesome. Great to be on with you guys. Talk to you
As
soon.
a fellow old guy, I appreciated it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who doesn't appreciate that? The young people. Young
What?
people today.
I'm big bruh in my community. I'm not quite unk status. I'm big
No,
bruh.
you are not.
Big
You're
brother.
not on status.
Wait, just wait.
All right, Mike, go ahead.
Let's talk some Guardians, guys. Our Guardians topic today brought to you by Epicor. Every team knows the value of hard work, of taking pride in what you build, in practicing every detail to get the best results, but no one player, no matter how amazing, can do it all alone. Working together makes getting the win easier at Epicor. The All-Stars are the hardworking manufacturers and distributors who create and deliver the things we all need, from aerospace to electrical to medical devices, from small businesses with big dreams to growing enterprises with global vision. We'll equip you with the right tools to move forward. Think ahead and lead the way, because as the clock ticks down, you need to make the most out of every hardworking minute. Easier doesn't cut corners. Easier finds the lane. Discover your success at easierwithepicor.com. That is easierwithepicor.com. Bull, yesterday at about 12:23 p.m., we were
Yes.
talking about the Guardians on this very program, and you said their offense was abysmal. It was an atrocity. It
That is
hurt your
true.
eyes to look at that lineup. And then about an hour and 8 minutes later, Carlos Santana hit a grand slam as part of an 11-run outburst for the Guardians offense. Bull, how stupid do you feel that you were just dead wrong on the Guardians having an abysmal line? They put up 11 runs on Nick Lodolo,
you're
bro.
messing around, but I got people that tweet every time the Guardians have a good offensive game, they tweet these stupid things at me. First of all, they tweeted at me as if I'm rooting for the Guardians to lose. I want them to be good. I wish they had a good offense. Their offense sucks. My friend Ed, who's a huge baseball fan, he's in our the fantasy baseball league too. He and I were discussing the 97 Indians yesterday. We just randomly ended up in a. This is what guys do sometimes. We randomly end up conversations about the 97 Indians, how ridiculous their lineup was on the good side as opposed to this team. And we were like, he goes to me, he's like, did you know that the Indians traded Jeff Kent off those teams?
And I was sucked when he was here.
Right, I forgot. Like, I knew he had played for the Indians, but I hadn't really thought that he would.
He was awful.
That guy should be in the Hall of Fame, by the way. How he's not in the Hall of Fame, I have no idea. He's one of the greatest second basemen to ever play. I think he was unlikable. And
he was.
Writers are stupid and let that affect whether you put them in the Hall of Fame or not. But, like, can you imagine?
Then you think Curt Schilling should be in the Hall of Fame?
I think Curt Schilling is borderline. I'm okay with voting for him. I do think what he's done is extreme and not the same as Jeff Kent.
I don't want to derail the whole thing. Go ahead. Continue.
You don't think it's a little different?
No, you just said that writers are letting their personal feelings because they don't like Jeff.
Right, but when you're saying writers should be hanged, that's a little different.
Well, yeah.
That's a little different than being surly.
I mean, certainly as a writer, I disagree.
Yeah. You know what? As much as I detest Curt Schilling, I would
he should be in the Hall of Fame.
Vote for him.
I think he should be in the Hall of Fame.
I don't believe the sock was bloody. I think it was phony. But anyway, but I yes, as much as I detest him, I would vote for him for the Hall of Fame.
97 Indians.
So we were just like talking about that, and I think about these lineups now and just how pathetic they are. And like they traded away Brian Giles, who was a good player. There was another good player.
Richie Sexton.
But he was. Yeah, he was too. But there was somebody else. It wasn't Richie Sexton. I don't know. That team had there was one game.
95 was better than 97.
Well, but there was one game in 97 where I think they had Tomey. I want to say Tomey, Manny, and Sandy Alomar Jr. hit 7, 8, 9, and I was like,
that was 95.
Was that 95?
Yeah, 95. They were obscene.
Yeah, we were talking about whole stretch of time.
I thought 96 was the best
because we
line.
were talking about the fact that they that it was the best team that never won the World Series.
That was 95.
That I've ever seen. Yeah. And not just 1 year. I mean, just like the team that was great over a stretch of time that never won a World Series, to me, is that team by a lot. Obviously, they always fell short in the pitching. But the fact that their payroll actually, forget the 90s, their payroll is only $7 million more than it was in 2001 or 2002, whatever that was. They had like a $90 million payroll that year, is ludicrous. And so, yes, yesterday they hit. That was good. They won the game. They needed to win the game to avoid going to just one game over 500. But over the course of the season, and I had one of the kids on my baseball team, Sam, is a huge Guardians fan. And he's like, their lineup's not bad. And I was like, Sam, I don't mean to make you sad, but their lineup stinks. He was so bummed when I said that. But you got to keep it real, right, Tyvus?
You broke the news to the kid.
Got to keep it real.
Why would you? Why
next
would
tell
you
him
do
there's
that?
no Santa.
Yeah.
Why would you do that, though?
I mean, he's 12. Shouldn't you know?
Why would you crush
11.
that kid's dream?
You just said run it up on kids at 11.
And you went against me, but yet when it comes to telling them the truth about that, you're
That's the truth.
willing to do it.
That's the So I'm like, their lineup stinks, and they played well yesterday, but no, what kind of idiot would change their mind about a team based on one game? Never. And by the way, they scored that 11 with no Quan, and for some reason, all of a sudden, Stephen Vogt has decided that Kyle Manzardo doesn't play anymore.
Not against lefties. It's insane. He should be in the lineup every single day.
It's crazy.
Every single day.
What are they doing?
You know, the interesting thing, I was my co-host in Columbus brought this up. They did a poll on the top 3 most likable managers by players in MLB, most respected.
Yeah.
Did you know that Tito was 2nd and Stephen Vogt is 3?
Who did a poll?
I don't remember.
I believe it was The Athletic.
It might have been The Athletic.
We just did an anonymous
You mean
poll.
the players voted on this?
Yeah.
Oh, Okay, so what does that mean? I didn't say he wasn't likable.
If we would just spend some couple dollars, we could actually have. There's people that actually will want to come here and play for Stephen Vogt.
Yeah, there are players who'd want to play here. Sure.
I didn't think that was the thing. I thought that people was like, it's Cleveland, blah, blah, blah.
They feel the same way the other teams in town do. It's hard to get free agents to come here.
See,
especially when you don't pay them.
They've never tried. You would keep most of your own guys if you spent.
Well, yeah.
Yes.
That's really
don't spend so that
it's really more about retaining what you develop more than bringing in free agents.
You just 2 days ago, you sat up here, you just ripped every farm player ever.
Yes.
Who you want to keep now?
I'd like to keep Stephen Kwan. He's actually good.
You're right.
Okay, they're not going to sign him.
You don't think?
No.
How many years he got?
Are we talking about trading him this offseason?
This is his third year, right?
Or the next offseason?
Fourth year. This is fourth year. Is this his fourth year? Is this Kwan's fourth year?
It's not like he demanding top dollar.
I don't know what he's demanding. How do we know?
The opportunity to sign him, I believe.
They're not going to sign him.
It's the same thing with what we said about Josh Naylor, for a year or two. And sure enough, they moved him. Although they never really tried to sign him.
Naylor?
No, which I understand on Naylor because of the body type.
What would Kwan contract?
Kwan's hard to predict because there's not a lot of comps for him in
I
baseball.
thought more power would come this year than what has.
Okay.
Said it wouldn't.
So
You're right. You said
that knocks him down.
Yeah, he's not getting a nobody's paying a singles hitter massive contract.
No.
$13 million a year? Something like that?
No, I get more than that.
He's 17.
More than that.
I'd have to look at the comps.
I don't know. Like I think I've mentioned Benintendi as a comp.
Yeah, but he never lived up to that. He was.
I know that.
Terrible.
But I'm saying Benintendi before he signed that deal.
Yeah.
What was he getting? 20?
He got.
I got more than that. I think. When it like 22.
I don't remember. Obviously, it's a number of years.
Can you look that up, Mike? Andrew Benintendi's
who's a comp?
contract?
Luis Arise?
No, I think he's better than Arise.
Benintendi got 5 for 75.
I can't.
So it wasn't as much. It was 15 a year.
Okay.
But that was also, 10 years ago now? 5 years ago?
I'll tell you who could be a comp who recently signed an extension. Not exactly the same player, but a similar profile. Nico Horner of the Cubs. He's got even less power than Kwan, but no power, great base runner, great defender,
what's his contract?
Good hitter.
He signed a 3-year, 35.
And he was,
35, what's that?
What's
11,
It's like
12?
11 and a half per year.
How many home runs does Kwan have?
You don't think they could give him that?
No, it's probably it's not. He would want more. Than
At this point, he wants to test the market. He's got 5. Yeah, he's probably not going to get to more than 15.
Nope. We're rapidly approaching the halfway point of the season.
Yeah, he's a 300 hitter he's never hit 300 in his career.
No. He's a 400 hitter.
No, he's a 300 hitter. He's
never even hit 300 in his career.
That's why, But Gold Glove outfielder, speed, 300 hitter. Benintendi's not bad. That's probably the closest comp.
Again, it feels weird now because Benintendi stinks, but
good
at the time
Benintendi.
he did.
Good Benintendi.
He signed that deal 10 years ago?
Jason, I believe Benintendi's contract. Look this up, Mike. If I remember this exactly, I want major kudos. But I believe Benintendi signed a 5-year, $75 million deal.
He said 3
I literally just said that a second ago.
Oh, yeah.
Where was I?
Sitting right there.
It looks disingenuous because I said I wanted a pat on the back. But I honestly did not hear
Thanks
you say
for listening.
that.
Good job.
It was exactly 5
Maybe
for
I
75.
subconsciously took that in from you saying, but I didn't remember you saying that.
And this is the last year of the deal, Jason, by the way.
Oh,
and it was a terrible deal.
Yeah, he's been awful.
But Kwan is going to get something like that.
Kwan would be looking for 5 for 125.
Yes. It's got to have.
How old is Kwan?
9 figures. It's got to be 9 figures.
How old is Stephen Kwan?
Yeah.
Stephen Kwan is 27 years old. He'll turn 28 in September.
And he's got how many years till free agent? What year does it say?
I think this is his first year of arbitration. I think, right? Does he have 2? Is this year 4 for him?
Stephen Kwan, according to Spotrac, he avoided arbitration this year. Then he has 2 more years of arbitration.
Okay, so 2 more years to free agency.
I mean, Zach and I just had a conversation about. He said you might have to write. This is the off season where they have to look at trading them.
They're going to trade if you don't sign him this off season, you got to trade him, which is
2 years of control.
Terrible. So how much did he make in arbitration this year? Probably nothing.
4.1.
Yeah, that's nothing.
So
let's say he would. What's he going to make next year in arbitration? 7?
6.5, 7.
Okay.
7.5.
And then the last year he'd make 10.
10.
So 17 over 2. So offer him a 7-year, $140 million deal. Would you do that if you're the Guardians? I would.
So let me get this right.
You
So
buy
you
his
buy
last 2 years of arbitration.
In 3 years of free agency?
No, and 7-year. 5 years after that.
Let me.
You got that still takes him to 35. And I think he's the type of player that will hold up into his mid-30s because I think his profile holds up.
It really comes down to me, when does Blitzer become the majority owner,
Right.
and can you push?
Because the thing is, like, that's a fair contract for both sides, but can
Would
you
you
afford
say
to spend that
7
money on? Can you afford to spend that money on a non-power hitter when you don't spend any money? So it's a tricky spot. Nobody really spends on non-power hitters.
Let me get this right. If I'm hearing y'all correctly,
Yeah.
y'all are telling me that this lineup that's already bad
Yes.
next year in this offseason,
Yeah.
you're going to get rid of one of your bright spots.
That's what they did this past year. Did they not?
That's fair.
They got rid of Josh Naylor.
That's fair. Okay, but
Their
like,
second best power hitter and second or third best player
if
overall.
he's not there, who would?
I have no idea, Tyvus. I don't know. They never call guys to the majors. When they do, they stink. Manzardo was their only guy having success. He goes,
Quan
he
is
goes
out.
into a 2-week slump. He doesn't play anymore.
Quan is out right now. Who's playing for him right now?
Yeah, what? That doesn't mean anything. Oh, we'll say they'll bring up Chase DeLauder. They'll bring up this guy. They'll bring up that guy. Jason, we just went through it. Their top 10 prospects from 2022, outside of Gavin Williams, not a single guy has any value in a trade.
Yeah, I went
none.
back.
And they could have traded all of them or most of them for at least half, if not 3/4 of them, for something legit. None of them have trade value. Nobody. And I could even argue Gavin Williams has less trade value than he did 3 years ago.
Oh, for sure he does.
Right?
Yes.
So even him. And he's the only one that's not. Everybody else from 3 years ago is either a bust or has been disappointed.
All players lose value as the contract clock ticks.
Sure. But he's also. He's not been as good as we thought
he has not.
He's good, but not been
their
top
problem.
notch.
Their problem was they could never. We said this the other day. They could never separate who are the guys we want to keep and build around.
Yeah.
Who's the trade bait. That's one thing that I think Tampa does a great job of identifying. Yeah. These are the guys we're going to build around.
Yeah.
Kyle Manzardo's trade bait. Junior Caminero is a centerpiece piece.
Yeah.
Kyle Manzardo we're going to trade. And the Guardians have not been able to do that because they all ended up not working out.
And let's face it. Last thing, Mike. Tampa Bay is better organization than Cleveland from the front office perspective. And here's why. First of all, Cleveland spends more than Tampa, and yet Tampa, in a much better division, is just as consistent at winning as Cleveland is. Yeah. And here's the biggest difference. We know the Guardians, Indians, are fantastic at developing pitching. They're right there with Tampa and Seattle, one or two other teams, best in the league. But Tampa also develops hitting.
Yeah.
And the Cleveland Guardians do not develop hitting. The only two hitters since Lindor are Quan and Ramirez, and those guys came out of nowhere. Neither one was a big prospect. Every single big prospect they've had since Lindor to this point is either a bust or unproven, has not shown enough. That's it. There's no exceptions. Who? Give me one guy. Every big prospect since Lindor over a decade ago or a decade ago.
Manzardo is.
Well, they traded for him.
They traded for him. He got developed by Tampa Bay.
Big Christmas.
Speaking of which, by the way, remember Jay was apoplectic when they traded Aaron Savali for Kyle Manzardo. Aaron Savali just got demoted to the bullpen in Milwaukee.
Tough look.
That was the only time they could make that trade. If you called,
that was a very good trade.
It was.
It was a very good trade.
I liked it at the time. Like, it was a hard trade to make at the time. But if you called them in April and said, we'll give you Aaron Savali for Kyle Manzardo, they would have hung up the phone and changed the number.
Yes.
If you ask them after the season in September, it was literally the only time in history you could trade Aaron Savali and get Kyle Manzardo.
And how? I don't understand. Why is he on the bench every day now? I don't understand what's happening.
Because they are obsessed with these platoon splits.
It's ridiculous. You want to sit him against Skubal?
Fine. Yeah. Wade Miley? You can't start him against Wade Miley?
The guy was a free agent 2 weeks ago. I mean, it's just crazy. All right.
Every day. He should be at first base.
Every day. Sit him against Scooble. That's it. Give him his 2 days off a year against Scooble. Go ahead.
All right, Bull, tell us a little bit about MenuRx before we get to our next topic.
Yeah, MenuRx is great. Spoke to my guy, Dr. Jake May, yesterday. We were talking. He did some metabolic testing on me. He can do it for you. Let me ask you a question. Do you want a scientist, a doctor, a nutritionist, somebody that studies and loves nutrition? Or are you going to just try some dope who wears a couple of wristbands and looks like he's in good shape on the internet and tells you to eat crackers and salmon all day and broccoli? Those things may be good for you, but what's this guy's credibility? He's got none. MenuRx, that's all they have is credibility. They've got you covered. And Dr. Jake told me that most Ohio health insurance companies cover most of the plans at MenuRx. So you might be able to get your program with them, one-on-one counseling, diets, or just eating plans to getting in better shape, tailored specifically for your body's needs, not for a giant group of people, because they try to put everybody into one box. And even if it doesn't take your health insurance, you could possibly use your HSA, FSA. For most people, it will work. So do what so many others have done before. Go to menu-rx.com. If you sign up for any of their plans, right now, you'll get a 1-year membership to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, a $60 value, absolutely free. That's menu-rx.com, menu-rx.com.
Thanks for that, Bull. We're going to spend just a few minutes here on the Cleveland Cavaliers. There was a rumor that came out yesterday in terms of the Cavs and a free agent that at least piqued my interest a bit. Malcolm Brogdon, who's had a successful NBA career.
Yeah.
Bounced around to a couple of
Bucks.
teams.
Did he play for the Bucks?
He was with the Bucks. He was with the Pacers. He's been with Portland. He won Sixth Man of the Year in Boston 2 seasons ago.
All right.
He was the piece that Portland got back in the Drew Holiday trade. The report came out that he's reached a point of his career where he wants to win a ring.
Okay.
He's willing to take a significant discount, potentially even a veteran minimum contract,
right,
to join a title contender because he's done all the stuff he wanted to do.
So then he's not going to come to the Cavs then, right?
Oh, stop it.
You need to cut that out.
So my question to you guys is,
I'm the only one keeping
and
it
Jason,
real.
I'll start with you.
Don't do that either.
If you're going to believe the reports, and it's easy to say that now when push comes to shove and you have to sign your name on the dotted line and there's real money involved, who knows? But for the sake of this, if you're going to believe the report that he'd be willing to accept a veteran minimum contract or a much cheaper contract than a player of his caliber is
worth. Did he say veteran minimum or no?
It was floated that he's willing to look into those kind of deals.
Okay, cool.
Is what the rumors were.
Good for him.
Jason, how do you think he'd fit in with the Cavs? Is that a guy that they should be pursuing, and would it impact their ability to bring back Ty Jerome if they did make a run at Malcolm Brogdon?
Yeah, I'd take Brogdon over Ty just because of what it would cost you in real life dollars. I'll believe it when I see it that Brogdon's willing to take a minimum.
Yeah.
I'll believe it when I see it.
What's the deal? Tell me. I've heard of him, but I don't know enough. Tell me.
He's had a lot of injuries. Real good player.
15, 4, and 5. I like that.
When he was with the Bucks, he was a really good player.
He's a creator, isn't he?
He can get his own shots.
Yeah, he's point guard.
Yeah,
he's had a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
That's one of the concerns with him.
But he's but when healthy,
if
he's
you
a
have
really
to
good
pay,
player.
if you have to pay $10 or $12 million for Ty Jerome, or you can get Malcolm Brogdon on a minimum.
Yeah.
There's no. As far as I'm concerned,
what if you had to pay him the same? I mean, who's better?
If you have to pay him the same, I'd probably take Ty.
Okay.
I think.
But would you trust Malcolm more in the playoffs?
Ty is way younger than Malcolm Brogdon. He's been in the league for years.
Well, who cares about age? You're trying to win now.
Brogdon was drafted in 16, and to Jason's point, injuries have been, when he's healthy, very, very, very solid player. In Boston a couple of years ago when he won Sixth Man of the Year.
Yeah.
Played in 67 games. Averaged 15 points on 49% shooting, 44 from 3, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and a steal per game. He's a plus defender when healthy.
Oh, he is. How big is he?
A little older now. He's 6'5", 230 pounds.
How old is he?
He'll turn 33 during the season.
Oh, so he's old.
But he's gotten some injury history.
Was he still good like this past year? How'd he play? Because who was paying attention?
He played in 60 games the last 2 years combined.
He in Washington now?
Oh, he was in Washington this past? I mean,
yeah.
That's the graveyard.
Does anybody...
no wonder he's willing to take a league minimum.
What's a worse franchise? The Browns, the Wizards, the Rockies?
Rockies.
That's the worst?
Yes.
I would probably agree with you. I would actually say the Wizards and Rockies are worse than the Browns.
I would too.
I would too. I agree.
the Wizards have become such a disaster. I mean, for a while now. But anyway. All right, what do we think? So we thumbs up in this or no?
I take them.
If he's going to take a vet min, I would take him in a heartbeat. To Jason's point, if the cost for Brogdon is $3-4 million for 1 year, as opposed to Ty Jerome at 13-14 potentially for multi-years, as much as I like Ty Jerome, I think the cost benefit favors Brogdon on a 1 year deal.
How's he been in the postseason? That's all that matters.
Postseason career, I can pull it up for you. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah. All right. So his career stats. Well, could you bring up his career stats again, there, Steve? Did we have his? Oh no, that was Ty versus Ty Jerome.
That was this season. If you want to go to his career, Steve, go up to.
Is there a career?
Yep, I got his playoff numbers here when you're ready to.
All right, Malcolm Brogdon. Okay, so for the career, 15-4-5, let's say, with 39% from three. 15-4-5, 39%. And what's he in the playoffs?
He's played in 43 playoff games.
Yeah.
He played in 6 in 2017. He played in 5 in 2018. He played in 7 in 2019. He played in 4 in 2020. And he played in 19 games in 23 with the Celtics.
All right.
For his career, he averages 12 points in the playoffs, 4-4.
All right, now, is the reason it's 12 and not 15 because he hasn't played well, or is it because his first year or two in the playoffs, he wasn't a guy who played much?
His year-by-year playoffs, 9, 13, 21.5, 12.
All right, so it's been up and down. How's three-point shooting in the playoffs? His three-point shooting this past year sucked, though, Mike.
38%. Yeah, he was hurt. He only played 20 games, so tiny sample size for his three-point
All right.
shooting.
So he's not moving the needle that much, is he?
He's not a game changer, but if he's healthy, he's a guy you definitely like on your bench.
I feel like we say that about everybody on the Cavs.
Well, that's what most bench players are.
What?
That's what most bench players are.
Are injury prone?
No, just I thought you meant like solid, not a game changer.
Oh, yeah, okay, that's fair. That's true.
Benedict Mathurin. We need one of those.
Man, what a game he had last night.
And he got benched against the Knicks. It's crazy.
Well, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he got benched against the
Mike
Knicks.
texted me last night if I was watching the game, but I was already sleeping by the time he texted me.
Awesome game last night.
I should have watched it. I watched it for a few minutes in the middle of the fourth quarter, and then I started talking with Aaron, and I just forgot about it. Went to bed. I forgot. And I was watching it when Brogdon hit that. Not Brogdon. When Mathurin hit that three to put him up, 98, 96 or something?
That's an ADD trait.
Yeah.
Watching the game and doing a conversation. All right, I'm out.
I'm out.
Ty, what do you think of Brogdon?
I like Michael Brogdon. Like
Malcolm.
I said,
You like him so much?
You forgot his name.
I said Malcolm.
You said Michael.
No, I didn't. I said Malcolm.
Whatever. Go ahead.
Maybe I didn't say it clear. I spoke fast.
Okay, you spoke fast.
I said I like
I'll give
Michael
you that.
Brogdon, but I can see how you think I said Michael though.
It's fine. I'm just messing with
Anyways,
you.
I like Malcolm Brogdon. Listen, the guy would play for the Bucks. I know the guy clearly because I used to play with him on the game. He's a really good. He's a good player. I think y'all right about the money aspect. I think it would be hard, though, to let Todd just walk like that because I do like that chemistry between him and DeAndre Hunter coming off the bench together. Obviously, that won't happen. But if this guy can be healthy and he can give you, obviously he comes with the playoff experience and all those things, and he could show up in the postseason, this is a guy that can be a game changer. I mean, Ty Jerome did it all for the regular season where he would, when you needed him, he came in and he was that spark. And he just kind of was non-existent in the playoffs to where you needed that one guy to give you that spark off the bench. And if he can be that guy, which he certainly have done before, then that could absolutely help you get over teams like the Pacers and Knicks and all of those other teams. There you go.
All right, what else we got on Brogdon?
I like him. Veteran presence, has some playoff experience. I'm still a little skeptical that he'd actually take a vet minimum contract.
I don't believe it.
Because I feel like the kind of player he is, I believe he wants to go to a championship caliber team. He made the finals with Boston when they lost to the Warriors. He was not back on the team when they won it the following year, or last year when they won it. So I'm not 100% confident that a team that actually needs a backup ball handler and creator would it be willing to offer him more? And if he wants more, then probably prices the Cavs out. But
wouldn't he be better off going to a team that's in a better cap situation and has a better chance to win? Like Oklahoma
If he's
City?
going to a veteran minimum, it doesn't matter.
Well, no, but if he wants to get paid more than that, but not break the bank, but still get paid more than that.
Then there's more teams that can use the non-taxpayer.
I mean, who's the best team in the league that could use him? Anybody?
off the top of my head. Like, what do you
Oklahoma
mean
City?
Like, in terms of money?
Forget the money. Just like who would he fit best on?
Who could use a backup point guard that can create 30 teams in the NBA?
All right, so if I'm him, I'm going to Oklahoma City.
The Bucks.
The Bucks could use him.
Yeah, but the Bucks are not a contender.
Maybe in the playoffs.
They're not a real contender.
They lost to the team.
If I'm dogging the Cavs.
They lost to the team that's up 2-1 right now.
Who do they have besides Giannis? Is anybody else any good on that team?
Dame Dollar.
I mean, a year in Washington can break anybody. So maybe he is like, screw this, just get me into a healthy environment. But if
Washington's like dog years, right? 1 year is like 7 years.
Yeah. So, but if you have a team, let's use the Cavs, offering a league minimum, or you can go, I don't know, a mid-level team and get get the mid-level exception.
Yeah, right.
It's hard to turn down that money, especially he's probably got one decent deal left in him before he has to take. He doesn't have to take league minimum right now.
Right, yeah.
But he's getting close to that point. So if you want one more payday, it's hard to walk away from that.
He's earned $130 million in his NBA career.
That don't matter. They always want
Dallas.
more. I'm just saying that's his career earnings.
He go to Dallas. He could start until
he's
Kyrie
made enough money.
back.
I just whatever.
I don't know Dallas's payroll situation.
I don't either. Can't be that much.
Yeah, well, they might as well take him. Every other player on that team gets hurt every 10
Kyrie and
seconds.
AD is the only two making money.
Making a lot of money.
Is PJ Washington making money like that?
Decent. Klay Thompson, decent.
They're not winning anything. Not with those guys.
They're
They
getting
all
Cooper
get hurt.
Flag.
Huh?
They're getting Cooper Flag.
If they're healthy.
They're not going to stay healthy, that team. You know that.
If they
Who ever thought the Pacers would go on a roll like this? If the Mavericks stay healthy from April to June,
but what are the odds?
They can make some noise.
What are the odds of Kyrie and Anthony Davis staying healthy through a run?
It's not that crazy.
No?
Kyrie's missing the first 70% of the season anyway.
Yeah. So
So he always stay healthy.
He's
for
always
a couple months.
how many seasons has Kyrie played more than 60 games?
If you give me 1 sec, I can look that up for you.
I guess early in his career he did more.
One.
No, he had injuries when
I'm
he
about
was
to say
here.
he had injuries at the beginning of his career.
For his career, Kyrie has played more than, what's the number you want,
Yeah,
Paul?
just give me his game played by year.
51, 59, 71, 75, 53, 72, 60, 67, 20, 54, but that was the shortened COVID year, so percentage-wise, that would meet your threshold.
Yeah.
29, 60, 58, 50.
Not as bad as I thought. Earlier in his career wasn't too bad. I mean, he misses 20 games every year, basically, but...
6.
He missed time with the wrist when he was here. He broke his wrist. He had the knee. He's had a lot of injuries.
He had the brain.
Stop it. He's had a lot of injuries.
All right, let's get on because we got a couple things I want to get to before we wrap up today's show. This next topic brought to you by Epicor. Every team knows the value of hard work and taking pride in what you build and practicing every detail to get the best results, but no one player, no matter how amazing, can do it all alone. Working together makes getting the win easier at Epicor. The all-stars are the hardworking manufacturers and distributors who create and deliver the things we all need, from aerospace to electrical to medical devices, from small businesses with big dreams to growing enterprises with global visions. We'll equip you with the right tools to move forward. Think ahead and lead the way, because as the clock ticks down, you need to make the most out of every hardworking minute. Easier doesn't cut corners. Easier finds the lane. Discover your success at easierwithepicor.com. I cannot believe I am actually asking this question, but I do think it is a completely valid question to ask at this point of the season. Since being sent down to AAA, Brian Rocchio has refound his groove at the plate. Now, it's AAA. I understand there's context to it, but since being sent down to Columbus, you can see on the left compared to the numbers on the right from his major league stint this season, his power's up. His OPS is essentially doubled. He has 6 home runs. He had yet to hit a home run in the majors this year. He's 22
Yes,
RBIs.
Mike, I would call him back up.
Would you call him back up?
Yeah, why not? Nobody else is hitting. I mean, I don't know that it's going to translate. It probably won't, but...
You're just recycling the water at this point.
I mean, they won't call up any of the guys we really want to see, so...
Arias has not taken the job and run with it.
No.
Like I thought maybe he might.
Arias has had enough chances at this point. How many more chances does he get? He's had more chances than Rocchio
He's
has.
out of options, I believe. I believe Arias is out of options.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Can I look that up? Is that something I
Well, you don't have to take... Arias doesn't have to come off the roster for Rocchio to come up.
But you're saying he keeps getting chances.
Yeah,
well,
but
that's
you
why.
can send Angel Martinez back down. He's not out of options.
No.
Why is it that he's so streaky?
Who?
Martinez.
A lot of guys are streaky.
I mean, he comes up and he makes some good stuff, and then he like disappears.
The problem with the Guardians is their streaky guys aren't that good when they're
Even
good.
when they're hot, they're not that hot.
They're like okay, like if you're going to be streaky, you better be a superstar when you're hot. If you're going to stink when you're not.
I mean, you might as well give Rocchio another chance.
Yeah, I mean, he's playing well.
This is the whole point of why you demote guys, is so that they can find a rhythm,
right?
Find their swing.
The problem is with all the platooning, nobody can get in a rhythm.
Are we gonna see Cafis?
No.
DeLauder?
No.
Yes. Yeah, they'll call up DeLauder.
All right. I'll believe it when I see it, Jason.
Cafis is a little trickier.
It's not tricky. They're just being stupid.
Well, how many first baseman DH do you want?
Why he's playing? Why did you play him in right field in the minors? I don't care if he could play. Is John Kenzie Noel such a good right fielder?
Yes.
No, but he's got.
You had him up there for 2 months.
Yes.
Who's the worst hitter in baseball?
Wow.
Statistically,
you're correct.
If you want to, I don't know. See if Cafis is going to solve any of their problems, but you want to give him a look.
Yeah.
Fine, whatever.
I'd be playing since Chase DeLauder came back. I would have called up Cafis. I would have put him in right field. You're playing every day. For the next month, you're playing every day. Let's see what you got. Then I would have played Jace DeLauder in center field in Columbus, and then I'd call him up to play center field, and he's the center fielder for the next month. If you make some mistakes in the outfield, who cares? We need some bats.
I'd call him up before he gets hurt again.
Well,
I think they just want to get him into the rotation, into the routine of playing every day. He's had so many injuries.
Yeah.
He doesn't even play 4 days a week, 5 days a week.
DeLauder?
They just want him a couple weeks. In fact, when was DeLauder activated? How long has he been going now? 2 weeks?
Probably 3. I want to say 3 weeks, but I don't know.
Is Shane
He'll be up by the
Bieber
All-Star break.
pitching again?
All right.
He'll be up by the All-Star break.
He had to take a week off.
Who?
He's still shut down.
He's okay.
But
Bieber?
Yeah.
He was activated on May 22nd.
May 22nd. Yeah. DeLauder will be here by the All-Star break.
Yeah.
That's my prediction.
And by the way, I know
if he's healthy,
I know it's not uncommon for guys coming back from Tommy John to have soreness, and but we can't pretend it's not a setback at all.
I don't think it's a big deal unless
it's not necessarily a big deal, but it's a little bit of a setback, if nothing else.
A lot of guys have it at this stage.
I hear you, but
now if
not everybody.
If he misses a month, okay,
yeah,
that's a problem. If he misses a week or two.
Yeah,
that's part of why I kept saying late July, early August.
Well, now it's after the All-Star break at this point.
Yeah, fine. I've always thought all along that his return would be somewhere late July, early August. He's been way ahead of schedule to this point.
Hopefully they'll still be playing meaningful baseball.
What is Tristan McKenzie doing?
Praying.
I don't know. What's Tristan McKenzie's numbers there, Mike, if you could?
He's in Arizona. He's not even pitching for Columbus.
Oh, he's pitching in the Arizona.
He's at the spring training complex trying to rebuild everything.
But he's pitching. Is he?
Yeah, he's.
Oh,
He only has 3 games in the minors all season. He's pitched 7 innings in the minors.
Yeah,
so it has not gone well.
He's not. He's a disaster.
It's.
I mean, he's off the 40-man roster.
We may never see.
So was George Valera, who was another hyped up prospect.
Oh, don't even bring that name
One last
up.
thing on Rocchio, and then we'll get to what's more likely. Bull, you said it probably won't continue in the major leagues if they were to call him up. We saw him prior to being sent down. He was hitting 165, no homers, an OPS below 450, which is hard to have an OPS that low as an everyday player.
Yeah, about as bad as he gets.
We saw him get hot in the postseason last year.
Yeah.
And he completely changed our perspective of what we thought he could be at the plate. I know AAA is not Major League Baseball, but both those numbers are pretty impressive in about 100 plate appearances.
He's 24. He should be doing that in AAA.
I'm just not that impressed.
Jason,
Come do it in the majors.
Translate?
Let's go.
I mean, 250. He should be hitting higher than 250 in AAA. That should be 280, 290, 300.
Yeah.
He's 24 years old.
I'm not that impressed, Mike. He's more. Who's he hit the home runs off of? Are there any pitchers that are going to ever be in the big leagues?
I don't know the answer.
Because there's a lot of pitchers pitching to AAA that are never going to do more than a cup of coffee in the big leagues. Be one of those guys that gets called up and sent down every week.
Hammy said, I'm actually, Jason, you're probably the best one to ask about this. But Hammy said on the broadcast the other day he's never seen a bigger gap between AAA and the majors than he has now.
Oh, he's right. Yeah.
Why do you think that gap's increased?
Why is that gap increased? I think part of it has to do with, I think they're rushing guys through AAA now. because it used to be, 25 years ago, you'd spend an entire season in AAA. Now, at least for the top guys, I'm talking the top guys, and maybe this isn't the totally correct answer, but now you can spend, if you spend 2-3 months, if you spend half a season in AA and then half a season in AAA, you're on the major league roster the next year, or maybe a month. Maybe you get a month for contract reasons, whatever else, and you're up. So the AAA, I don't feel like there's as many guys that are career guys in AAA. I remember Jamie Navarro went back to AAA and pitched as a veteran trying to hold on to his career.
So
guys make so much money now, they don't do that. Okay. So you don't get the guys holding on at the end. The top guys rush through because you get them to the major leagues faster.
Yeah. There's a variety of reasons. Here's the deal. So up until, I don't remember what year it was, what was the year they renegotiated the minor leagues?
It was right around 22? COVID when they knocked out a bunch of the minor league levels.
It used to be, before this decade, every team had 6, maybe even 7 minor league teams. Okay? So that's 180 to 210 players in your system. Now, each team has 4 minor league teams. That's roughly 120 players. That's a significant difference. That's a little over a third players in your system that are no longer there. So that's why you'll see, if you are a baseball transaction nerd like me, you will constantly see at the beginning of every month veteran journeyman players getting cut from minor league teams now, if you pay attention to this type of thing, which I do. That used to never happen in the minors. You'd keep those guys forever, these journeymen or the veterans trying to make a comeback. Those guys don't get kept anymore. Number 2, the top prospects, as you said, they're getting to the majors quicker, and in many cases, they're going straight from AA to the majors. So AAA, instead of having a lot of top prospects and veterans who are trying to fight back, it's more extreme journeyman veterans and 4A players and a lot more second tier, third tier prospects as opposed to top tier prospects. And that's why the gap is bigger. And that's why we're seeing a lot of players dominating at AAA and then they come up and struggle. We see it. Especially guys that were like dominating unexpectedly.
Yet at
top prospects.
Yet at the same time, I feel like more top prospects are hitting and not as many are missing as back 10, 15 years ago.
I wonder if that is true.
It feels like it to me.
It feels like it.
There's more. I don't have the data.
On that,
I don't have the numbers to back it up. There aren't as many guys who are supposed to do really, really well and are complete busts.
We also know about them more.
We do know more about them.
There's more access to information. It is interesting. And I think, and the college players, most people don't watch a ton of college baseball, but it's bigger than it used to be.
Yeah.
And so we know some of the players a little bit. Like in basketball and football, except for the foreign players in basketball, all the guys.
Yeah.
And now in baseball, we're starting to know some of the names more when they come into the minor league system. The top, especially the first round picks from college. We're knowing their names, so we're more in tune with how they're doing.
It is fascinating the way that they've eliminated some of these minor league levels.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a terrible thing, but it's also allowed. It's like the spring training complex, like where Tristan is.
Yeah.
And the 17-year-old free agents that they signed for the Dominican.
Yeah.
A lot of those guys start now. They start at the rookie complex,
right.
At the spring training complex, rather than the Appalachian League or whatever it was that they
the New York
started.
Penn League, where I used to work.
Appy League. That's where I got my first time covering a pro baseball was the Appy League.
Wilmington Blue Rocks.
That's not the Appy League.
It's fun going to minor league games.
Oh, great!
It's a blast.
It's bad for. There's a lot of small towns that lost teams.
Yeah,
I wanted to see it when Mike was there. Jordan.
Yeah.
Oh.
The Birmingham Barons.
You know who played? I probably mentioned this before, but I'll mention it again in case I haven't before we move on. When I was, I did games in Batavia 99 to 01. The year before I was there for the Batavia Muck Dogs, one of the players on the 98 Batavia Muck Dogs was Ricky Williams.
Oh, yeah. I think
you did mention that the other day.
Did I mention it?
Yeah, just the other day because we had never heard it before.
I forgot.
Now
He
twice in a week.
stole a bunch of bases. Apparently, he was stoned a lot. All right, let's go. Keep it moving.
But we're going to play a little What's More Likely after a quick word from Menu RX.
Menu RX is the place to go if you're looking to lose weight, if you're looking to get in better shape, or if you're looking to just find out what foods are better fuel for your body. Don't go with some idiot on the internet, on Instagram. Don't go to a big box diet place that forces you to one plan, keeping points that they give to a 60-year-old woman weighing 120 pounds and a 40-year-old man weighing 400 pounds. It doesn't work that way. At Menu RX, they work with you as an individual. They consult you individually. They test you individually, and they find out which foods work best for you individually. And right now, if you sign up with Menu RX for any of their plans, you will get a 1-year membership to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, a $60 value, absolutely free. So don't wait another minute. Go to menu-rx.com. Sign up today. Menu-rx.com.
All right, it's time to play a little What's More Likely. Guys, I put together 6 of these. They span all of Cleveland sports.
Okay.
You know how it works. I give you 2 scenarios. You tell me what's more likely to happen of the 2.
Okay, we got
The
6
first
of these.
one, there are 6. The first one, what's more likely?
I like these.
The Cavs run it back next year with the core 4 still completely intact, or the Browns win 6 games in 2025?
No, you wrote more than 6 games.
More than 6 games in 2025.
More likely.
The Cavs.
Yeah, core 4. Browns ain't winning 7 games.
They are 8-9.
The Browns.
Well, then you would say the Browns are more likely.
But I know it's a guarantee that the core 4.
You think it's a guarantee?
The Browns' chances of
they're
winning more than
stubborn.
6 games, I'm going to say, is 13%. Is there more than a 13% chance that the Cavs will break up the Big 4? I'm going to say yes. So I'm going to say the Cavs. No. So I'm going to say the Browns.
No, you would say the
Confused.
Cavs.
I'm saying the Cavs.
You're confusing yourself.
Yes.
If you think there's a 13% chance,
Yes.
which I don't know where you got that number from.
Did I say 30?
13.
Oh.
If you think there's a 13% chance that the Browns will win 6 games and you think there's a higher percentage.
Yes. I think it's a higher
that they
percentage.
will
So I'm
run
saying
it
the
back.
Cavs. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Thank you.
It's going to be it's not impossible.
Yeah.
Not impossible to trade Darius. It just got a lot more difficult.
But I think Jared Allen is a good chance.
Jared is the
Yes.
one that I think.
I don't think they're going to trade Darius because of the injury. I think we're screwed on that one. But I think they're going to trade Jared Allen. Or at least I hope they are. So I'm going to go with that. Go ahead. Next, Mike.
Number 2, what's more likely? Shador and Dylan Gabriel combine for 12 or more starts this season, or the Guardians catch the Tigers and win the AL Central. So 12 or more starts for the rookie quarterbacks, or the Guardians catching the Tigers to win the division.
The quarterbacks.
If you could guarantee me that either Joe Flacco or Kenny Pickett are not on this team to start the year, then I would definitely say the first one.
But if
I can't guarantee that.
I can't guarantee it. I've felt all along that only one of Pickett and Flacco will be here, so I'm going to go with that. So I'm going to say the Browns quarterback one.
Yeah,
The Guardians just
they're a
just
500
not.
team. They're 8 games back. The Tigers.
The Tigers are legit.
The Tigers are legit.
You ready to admit it,
I
huh?
think they've got a stacked. See, the fact that
They
it's
just
only
lost
June
Jackson
12th.
Jobe for the season.
Yeah, I saw
Not
that.
that's the end of the world.
But they've got an absolutely loaded farm system,
Yeah.
and they've got 2 years left with Tarek Skubal. So I would expect them to be aggressive with the trade deadline.
Yep.
So no, I don't think the Guardians catch them. So I will take the Browns.
Yeah. You too, Tyvis?
I started it off saying the Browns.
I think there's a couple of hitters on the Tigers a little over their skis, but the pitching's not. So, all right, go ahead, Mike.
Next one, what's more likely to happen? 3 Guardians finishing the season with 25
No.
or more home runs.
There's no chance. That's
Or
happening.
3 Browns finishing with 1,000 or more yards. Now, not combined. So if Quinshon Judkins has 800 rushing
I
and
gotcha.
300 passing, doesn't count.
Three skill position players with 1,000 or more yards, either rushing or receiving.
Yeah, but not combined. Or
I get
3
it.
Guardians hitting 25 or more homes.
That's definitely the Browns,
ain't happening.
Yeah.
which is not happening.
Guardians.
Yeah, that's not happening.
I mean,
No
we
chance.
have half of. We're already halfway into the season.
Well, not
so-
quite, but getting
Close
there.
enough.
Yeah,
I went back and forth on that number. Steve, we go back to that one. What number did I have to get to where you
20,
thought it
I
would
would have
be?
thought.
Even 20, I would
17.
consider it 20.
I mean,
17.
what's
Yeah.
Manzardo and Carlos Santana's home run totals right now?
Jose has 12, Manzardo 11, Bo Naylor 9, Santana 8, Schneeman 7.
There's no chance Santana's hitting 25 home runs.
17.
No, 20.
There's no chance Schneeman's hitting 25 home runs.
20, if we went to 20. If
20, I would have thought long and hard.
I still...
3.
I would take the Guardians at 20.
Honestly, I don't think either one's happening.
I would take the Guardians at 20.
Either one's happening.
So I think Jerry Judy's got a decent shot at 1,000 yards.
Well,
neither one is happening.
I
The more
don't
I think
know.
about it.
I got a hard time figuring out who the third person.
Yeah, because
would be.
Judkins better get
Njoku?
1,000 yards. The Joker's not getting 1,000 yards. Neither one's happening.
who's the two?
I guess I would go with baseball.
Judy, okay. Who's the second?
Judkins.
Judkins.
Oh,
'cause
Judd.
he's
Yeah,
a star runner.
I was thinking receiving only.
Yeah. No.
No, this could be receiving or running.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know who.
Does quarterback count?
No. Well, I guess if the quarterback ran for 1,000 yards, that would count, but that's not going to happen.
If Joe Flacco runs for 1,000 yards,
Yeah.
I'll shave my head.
Really? They're both extremely unlikely.
Jose's getting to 20. I think Manzardo gets to 20.
If you did, now that I think of if you said 20,
20,
I would go with the Guardians.
Yeah, I think I would.
Because there's really not a third player. Who's the third player? Who do you think's the most likely?
Njoku
For the Browns?
is the most likely.
But what are the odds?
You asked me who's the
No,
most
yeah,
likely.
okay, but what are the odds?
Cedric
You
Till.
even give it 10% chance?
I'd give it.
No.
No, I'd give it more than
Deontay-
10.
What's the most he's ever
Deontay
had?
Johnson.
800?
I mean, no, but I hear why you would say
That's
that.
possible.
Is
If he stays on the straight and narrow, that's not impossible.
He had 882 in 23.
I actually think now it's a big if, but if Deontay Johnson doesn't act like, as Dustin said yesterday, a turd, he's the most likely to be the third
What's
guy.
more likely? Deontay Johnson has 1,000 receiving yards, or he makes it to the end of the season on the roster?
Oh, definitely, or not making it to the end of the season on the roster.
Yeah, what's more likely? He's not on the roster at the end of
Yes.
the season, or he has 1,000
I would say not
receiving-
on the roster.
I would agree with that.
But if he does straighten out his act, he has the talent. He's had 1,000 yards.
I mean,
so
this
that could
is
happen.
obviously his last chance.
Yeah.
This
He
is
said,
his last
he said
chance.
the Browns was the only
I'll go with the
I
Browns,
can't believe
but-
he admitted that.
No,
They
anyway.
don't ever admit that.
No.
Every
Yeah.
player says he's got choices and
Yeah.
options.
No, they
Every
don't.
player
Yeah.
does.
But did he say why he wasn't at OTAs?
I did not hear that part because I was eating fajitas.
Smart. All right,
This
Mike,
is why I
next.
got to go myself, man.
I don't know if he was asked that or
Let's
not.
get there,
I don't know.
Travis. Let's
I
get
didn't care to talk to him.
All right,
lied.
the next one. What is more likely to happen? Evan Mobley leading the Cavs in scoring next season, or Myles Garrett finishing the year with 21 or more sacks?
Myles Garrett.
Miles.
Evan Mobley.
Miles.
Evan Mobley.
Wow.
Miles has
Yeah,
never
I
had more than, what, 17?
16.
16?
Miles also never had.
Well, Evan Mobley's never led the team in scoring for a season.
Obviously.
Miles also never had this productive of
No, he has
defensive
that-
tackles.
This could be.
That is incorrect. His defensive tackles have had no production. Talented, maybe.
He had Sheldon Richardson.
You said he's never had his productive tackles. Sheldon Richardson is more productive than anybody they have now.
Malik Collins was pretty good.
How old is Malik Collins?
31, 32, 30, 31. I don't know.
For the record,
30 years old.
How many sacks did he have last year?
5.5.
He had 5.5 last year.
All right.
Look at that.
I don't think either one of these happens. But I'll take.
There's no way either one of these happens. I'm going Myles Garrett.
How many?
I'm going Miles Garrett because he's the guy. The guy is incredible.
Donovan Mitchell averaged, 8 more points a game than Evan Mobley last year? 6?
6.
Which one would you pick, Mike?
Mobley.
Percentage chance Mobley scores more points a game than Mitchell this year?
27.2.
No chance. You think there's a 27% chance he scores more than... you guys love your Mobley.
I mean, if you think about it,
27%.
if you think about it, 6 points is 3 buckets. If he gets a little more aggressive on the offensive glass, that's a putback. I think they're going to run more offense to him, especially early in the season. Yeah.
You think he's going to average more points?
You're conning yourself right now.
He's going to average more points than Donovan?
I said there's a 60.
You conning yourself.
7% chance. No, but
I think
it's
there's
crazy.
like a 1% chance he does it, and I think there's a 1.1%
What was the
chance
number
Myles Garrett
on Miles? 21.
Yeah.
21, which would be 5 more sacks than he's ever had. In his
7
career.
players in history have ever had 21 or more sacks in an NFL season. I'll take
Are
Evan
any of
Mobley.
them more talented than him? I don't know.
I'm just saying, 7 times in history versus Evan Mobley the leading scorer.
I got Evan Mobley being the leading scorer 1% of the time, and Myles Garrett 21 sacks 1.1% of the time. Let's go. Next.
Then you're going to love the percentages on this next one. Bull, what's more likely to happen? The Browns make the playoffs or Austin Hedges finishes the year with an OPS above 775?
The Browns make the playoffs. There's
What's
zero.
his OPS now?
500.
Oh, yeah.
The Browns have like a 5% chance to make the playoffs. Austin Hedges has a 0% chance to have an OPS 7. That was the easiest one.
Yeah, Browns in the playoffs.
What number? I need a third party to help me come with these numbers
600 would have made me think.
Yeah, if you would have said a 600 OPS, and even then I probably would have picked the Browns to make the playoffs.
What's his OPS right now?
500 on the dot.
550. I'm kidding.
And by the way, a 600 OPS is terrible, and I still would have taken the Browns, who would stink, that wouldn't make the playoffs.
There's a 0% chance.
550.
By the way, if you ask Austin Hedges that question, he'll admit he's not getting 775 OPS.
Oh yeah,
no chance.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to tweak this next one because I've gotten your guys' answers. I feel like I know how you're going to answer. So
yeah, is this the last one?
This is the last one,
yeah.
And then we're going to play your Little League package.
All right.
What's more likely? The Cavs trade both Garland and Allen before the start of the season.
Yeah.
Or the Browns make some sort of significant roster move before week 1.
Well, you'd have to define that.
Yeah. I know. Well, what I had.
What was the original?
Make a trade for another veteran receiver because Andrew Berry is obsessed with trading for veteran receivers in August.
I mean, I would take Browns making a trade for a veteran
probably
receiver.
would.
I mean, if they trade Kenny Pickett, is that a significant move?
Yeah.
What was the first one seems so outrageous. I'd already
make a
forgot it.
significant roster
Jared
move.
Allen.
Oh, trading
trade both. They're not trading.
If Darius were healthy, then maybe I'd consider that. But it's not, so they're not going to trade him.
They're not trading both.
Yeah.
And if you're considering, which I don't, trading.
By the way, we made these before Darius injury news came out. Just a heads up.
But you just said you considered trading Kenny Pickett, and I assume Joe Flacco is a significant move, which I don't. But if you're considering that significant, then I think one of them is going to be gone. So.
There you go. I feel like you ain't gonna trade Joe. Joe can't. I feel like Joe don't have value. I don't guess Kenny would either, but he's younger.
I'd trade Kenny Pickett for a tackling dummy and a bucket of sunflower seeds.
You are very disrespectful. You know that?
I can be. I can be. That's true.
All right,
Mike.
Let's get to the main event of today's show. After
a
reminder that if you want more UCSS content, you can follow us on social media, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. The handles are on your screen. Give us a follow for some extra content. Ant's been trying to post some behind-the-scenes stuff. We'll try and get some more of that to you guys in the coming days.
The question is, will Jason and Tyvis pay attention to this?
I was trying to...
Or will they be on their phones? Because it might not be interesting to them.
I was looking something up pertinent to the show, I'll have you know.
So let's set it up, Bull.
All right,
this is the third year in a row that you have invited me to come out and film a Little League baseball game that you are coaching.
He's 0-2.
He's 0-2 in the 2 games that we've been to thus far. In the first 2 iterations of this, weren't a ton of great highlights to show. I'm just going to be honest.
Last year, that was one of the worst moments, that game last year that you came to. You couldn't have come to a worse game.
It was tough.
Yeah.
It was tough.
Does
so I went back out.
rattle the kids?
Nah, most of them were not phased that much.
Did you give out 20 game balls?
I gave out 0 game balls.
This time he got 0. So,
he asked for a back.
Without further ado,
this
is Danny Boys versus Kim Crane. Mic'd up with Bull. Year 3, can he finally snap the winless streak? Let's find out. It's Northeast Ohio's biggest rivalry. No, it's not the Browns versus the Steelers or Ohio State versus Michigan. It's Danny Boys versus Kim Crane in the Rocky River Little League. Coach Bull looking to avoid going 0-3 while being mic'd up.
Danny Boys on 3.
Danny Boys on 3. 1, 2, 3, Danny Boys.
Let's go.
Kim Crane bringing the bats early in a blink of an eye. Bull's team was down 5 runs.
I'm in like a state of shock.
Now, I can't confirm nor deny this, but I heard reports say the crowd was chanting hot seat between innings. But then Danny Boy's offense came to life.
Go! Yes! Jaden, stay there, stay there! But that hit! Proud of you, kid. Yeah! Go! 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 Come on, Owen! Nice, Owen. Way to go! There you go! Go, 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 Owen! Go, 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 go! Slide! Yeah. Aaron goes third! Go, 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 go! Run, 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 run! Stay there, stay there, stay there, stay there! Yeah!
And just like that, the lead was cut to 1.
Zayden! Zayden! Oh, shoot. You're right there. What am I talking about? Get down, Luther. Get down! Or stay up. That's a choice. Good hustle. We got the momentum. We can keep it going here. Let's go.
Next inning, same story for the bottom of Bull's lineup.
Yeah, Rise. Way to go. Yeah! Run! Run, 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 run! Go, 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 go! Yeah! That's it, buddy. Way to go. Stay there. Wait, wait, wait. Samuel, get back. Stay there. Go, 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 go. Go, Samuel. Go, 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 go. Yes. Stay there, Dan. Stay there. Stay there. Way to go, Luther!
Danny Boy's now in the lead, and Case finding his groove on the mound.
Nice, Case. Good job. That's it. Yeah. Yeah, Case. Nice job, Case.
A 1-run lead turning into a 5-run lead in the final frame, thanks to some clutch hitting from Baby Bull and his teammates.
Way to go, Aaron! Tag up, tag up, tag up. Be ready to run. Go, 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 go. Yeah!
And to close it out, Bull bringing in a Rocky Rivers version of Emmanuel Clase to secure the dub.
Good afternoon, good evening, good night. See ya. That's it, 3 pitches. That's it, guys. Way to go. Great win. Good game. Good game. Good game.
Danny Boys beats Kim Crane 10-5. Bull avoiding the hot seat chance for at least another week.
That was a fantastic team effort. I want everybody cheer for yourselves. Let's go. Nice 2-game winning streak. How does that feel?
Awesome.
We battled back. We were down 5-0, and we scored 10 straight runs in that game. And what was unbelievable is, not unbelievable, but what was so exciting, what I'm most excited about, is some of you guys that have struggled hitting, you guys all across the board did a great job today. There were excellent swings throughout the entire lineup, no exceptions.
1, 2, 3,
Hey, boys! All right, see you guys tomorrow. Great job, everybody. Finally got a win with Mike in it. And I did it. When we were down 5-0, I thought we were going to get boat raced. I thought we were getting
You didn't give out that a game ball after that comeback?
I didn't. No, I haven't been doing that this year. But that team, the first time we played them, they did beat us badly. We got
mercy rule type thing?
No, we haven't been mercy ruled, but they beat us 10-2.
So where does this put you overall record?
Not good. I mean, we lost yesterday.
How many games?
We're 4-10.
But does everybody go to the postseason?
Yes.
Okay.
And the thing is, here's the thing.
If you're in the NBA, you're definitely getting fired.
Oh yeah, definitely. Here's the thing. The kid who pitched the last batter got the last out.
Yeah.
I brought him in bases loaded, 2 outs in the last inning to seal the deal. So he's the best pitcher in the league. His name is Owen. He's a good kid. Problem is, he's one of the few kids in the league that plays travel ball in addition to Little League. And so for the family, travel ball is their first priority. I get it.
Yep.
And so there's times where I just can't pitch him because he's just pitched in travel ball. I'm not going to, blow up the kid's arm. Mm-hmm. So we haven't been able. When they made the teams, the thought was, well, he'd be our ace. And my number 2 guy, Case, who does a nice job, he's got the weird delivery. He's a good pitcher, but he's had to throw a lot of innings because we haven't. So yesterday I had to throw some kids who hadn't really pitched before, and that's the thing. So if Owen's able to pitch for us in the playoffs, we could pull some upsets.
Will travel ball be over with?
No, it ends about the same time. It just depends how far they go when they're playing. The travel coach is a friend of mine, and so he pissed me off the other day. I was George. You know about that because you didn't inform me he was pitching. Right before I was supposed to start in that game, and right before the game, his dad told me he couldn't pitch because he's pitching to travel the next day.
Oh, that's right.
And the coach had not informed me of that, and we're friends, so he should have informed me. We've been staying in communication. So anyway, but Case pitched his ass off. He's one of my favorite kids, Case. Isn't his delivery bizarre?
Yeah.
Can you show him pitching just that or no, Mike?
Yeah, give us a sec to pull it up, but yes.
Case is such a great kid. I coached him for the first time in fall ball. He's a great athlete. He's big for a fifth grader because he's in the fifth grade group. He made our fifth grade all-star team. And that's a really good team. I'm thinking about taking our fifth grade all-star team to play in some tournaments after the season. Obviously, I've talked to the parents, but anyway, he's got the weirdest delivery. He just hangs his arm out there, and we've tried. And that kid who we struck out as a kid that used to be on my team was a really good player. But Case has the weirdest delivery. But when I've tried to change it, it's not comfortable for him. So I'm just all right, let it be.
Look that much bigger than everybody. What's wrong
because
with
he
y'all
is.
kids?
By the way, because he is that much bigger than everybody.
He's the biggest kid on the team
That's
by
how
a lot.
AJ is. What's wrong with y'all kids? What y'all feeding them? Tyson's chicken?
I mean, he's really big, really tall. I mean, he's not fat.
No, I ain't saying
like
fat.
me,
I'm saying height-wise.
Yeah, he's really tall. I don't know. I mean, I'm certainly not tall. But I was kind of tall at his age, but he's taller than even I was. How tall is AJ now?
5'10".
Might get in trouble with that picture. He's 5'10"?
Yeah.
So he's taller than you.
He's taller than me.
Yeah.
And, unless you get so mad at me because in every family photo now,
Yeah.
they go 1, 2, and then I get up on my tiptoes, and she gets so mad. They're like, get off your tip, and it's just a joke now at this point.
Now you're just doing it to piss
Now
her
I'm just
off.
doing it to piss him off.
Yeah, exactly.
But
So-
yeah.
But
Yeah, I don't
congrats
know.
on a double. At the
That
end
was
of
a
the
great job by Mike putting that together. Thank you for coming, Mike. The kids really appreciate it. I think the kids will get a kick out of seeing this. I didn't even remember saying that to Luther. That's a choice. I didn't even remember saying that.
I double barred.
That was funny. I didn't even recall saying that. But
You didn't know where your kids was, and they was right behind you, your player?
there were I thought Zayden was. I had him
Actually,
out.
I got to call you out, Bull.
Yeah.
One bad job out of you is Bull they play different positions every inning.
Yeah.
Bull could not keep what inning it was straight. He had sent 3 guys to the outfield. He called them back in. He sent them out to the outfield. Then they were on the bench.
In my defense, Mike, I'm usually very good at that. The problem was at the last second, my pitcher couldn't pitch, so I had to move things around. That got me kind of screwed up. Because normally I print out the positions for every inning. I did at one point forget what inning we were in there for a second when I was sending the kids out, and that screwed me up. But I also was kind of having to change things around because that day we had all 11 kids. And when we have all 11 kids, 2 kids got to sit each inning. And I had it planned out based on who was pitching, when they would sit, who was catching, and that got all screwed up. So I had to change some things on the fly. But it is what it is. They're a really good bunch of boys. Hoping we can make a run in the playoffs. They are really improving. Some of the kids at the bottom of the lineup could not get hits at all. Last night, even though we lost big, we only struck out twice.
That's pretty good.
Which was
is
great.
pretty good.
Only
Yeah.
2 strikeouts on offense in a Little League game. We actually called up so we have a rule now where if you don't have enough players, you can call up a kid from one of the minor league teams.
Yep.
And we actually called up a kid who's only in the 3rd grade. Usually they call up 4th graders.
Yeah.
But somebody told me about this kid who's a 3rd grader, and he was really excited about the idea. So I called him this kid. And he was actually, outside of Case, he was as big as my 5th graders, this kid. And he got an RBI single as a 3rd grader playing with 5th and 6th graders.
That's awesome.
It was cool. In the game before us, another team called up a kid too, was a 4th grader. He got a walk-off RBI single to win the game.
I know. He
playing
was
up.
Cloud.
And the whole team
They better
jumped
gave
on
him a big ice
he's
cream
a nice
sundae.
kid, Ethan Falso. Shout out to him. All right, thanks everybody for joining us. Oh no, we're not done.
No, we got super chats.
You giving me the wrap-up sign just to wrap up the segment. I thought we were wrapping up the show. No, we got 5 minutes left.
Yeah.
Go ahead with super chats, Mike.
All right, let's get to super chats to wrap up. Bull, by the way, if we make the championship, we'll come back out and we'll get to the championship game. First super chat. Jeremy Long says, Pickett is trash. Everyone knows it, so please stop, Jason. It's Flacco for a few weeks. Then Sanders will take over. Pickett is going to be traded or cut. Gabriel is number 3.
I guess I don't have to defend Jason, but I'll defend him by saying Jason's not saying that Kenny Pickett is the right choice, or maybe you are, or any good. You're just giving your opinion on what you think they're going to do, right?
I just think, I think I have a pulse on how this is going to go, and I think it's going to be Kenny Pickett.
I mean, that could make us as nauseous as we want.
It doesn't mean he's going to start 17 games.
Oh, there's
I'm
no
just
chance
talking
of that.
week 1. Who's going to take the first snap of the season? I think it's going to be Kenny.
Oof.
I told Jason, him and I were texting about this yesterday. If Pickett starts, there's just no juice.
None.
Like more than anything else from a show standpoint, there's just no juice with the
He's
Pickett
the only
start.
one of the 4 that gives us no juice for the start of the season.
Yep.
I don't disagree with that.
Yeah.
I want
Not that they should do it for that reason.
I'm going to dig a little bit this summer on because I think everybody's sour on Pickett because of how it went in Pittsburgh, right? Fair?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We didn't really see
I mean, I didn't like him coming out of college either, but
So I just think there's a lot there. Again, I'm not saying he's a Pro Bowler. I'm not saying he's the franchise answer. I think there's a lot that happened in Pittsburgh that is worth pulling apart a little bit.
They're offensively
nothing like a
challenged.
great organization like the Browns to straighten out the Steelers.
Pittsburgh is offensively challenged.
That's true.
The Browns are everything challenged.
That's also true.
That's true.
Next super chat. Dragon the Abander says, Mary Kay has been telling any and everyone that Dylan is far ahead of Shador. What is she seeing or hearing that other people aren't?
The
I
fact
think
that
Jury said it. Like it's got to be the fact that stop talking about him. That Dylan Gabriel is picking things up faster than Shador. Like that's because when you talk about just performance on the field, everybody sees the same thing. Everybody sees Shador throws.
Well, we're not seeing anything. What are we seeing? A couple of clips. The people that are there are seeing
the
things.
people that are. Thank you for let me be politically correct. The people that are there are saying that Shador looks better than Dylan Gabriel. So if that is the case, the only thing that it could be is the fact that Dylan is picking up the playbook faster. And if you go to UCF, Oklahoma, Oregon, you'd have been through 3 different offenses. Yeah, you're going to pick up playbook. It's not going to be hard for you to pick up terminology because you probably heard it at some point to where if you've only been on 1 or 2, it might be difficult for you.
This is not hard to comprehend.
No.
Dylan is getting a healthy amount of reps with the starters and 11-on-11s. Shador hasn't gotten 1.
No, so that's pretty obvious.
That tells you Shador's on this field, and everybody else is like that. Tells you all you need to know in terms of how they view it. It doesn't matter what we say. Yeah, I think Shador's thrown it better than Dylan. I do, but that's comparing Shador in a 7-on-7 against rookies versus Dylan live action 11-on. You know what I mean? So it's not even a level comparison.
I don't think Mary Kay's saying that he's ahead like she's analyzing the quarterbacks. She's analyzing their usage.
And by what people in the building are saying.
Okay, fair. That's true. Next.
Next one.
Yeah.
Booch Wyatt says the Browns don't want to admit they're wrong about Pickett and Gabriel. It's the same team that told us Deshaun gave us the best chance to win. We are a joke.
We could have whatever conspiracy theory you want. Maybe that's true. I doubt that has anything to do with it, but go ahead.
Last one comes from Jeremy Long, who says, why are you media talking heads so obsessed with losing? He can't even compete in practice, and you're saying he's good enough to play? Stop already.
What are you talking about?
What?
I have no idea what that's in reference to, or if that makes any
Obsessed
logical
with
sense
losing.
whatsoever.
I mean, the only thing everyone gets mad at me when I say this, but the Browns tried to win for 6 years, 7 years. They just weren't very good at it.
Yeah, I don't even I don't even know what he's alluding to. I don't know what he's saying. That message made no sense.
Maybe when Jason asked about them getting a quarterback next year. Maybe.
I don't
Probably. But, I mean.
That was a way for him to attack the media when we've done nothing unfair. I don't know what he's,
The Browns tried really hard to win for 7 years. Fair? From 2018 to 2024, nobody talked about losing games. Nobody talked about tanking. Nobody talked about draft picks, finding a quarterback. None of that. Right?
Well.
Can we agree?
For us to come back to that.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
So for 7 years, they tried to win.
And they did.
Turns out they suck at it.
Yeah.
So now they got to start over. So now you got to take 1 year, and you're not going to win a lot of games because you're trying to.
But they didn't even do that right. Because then they should have. If that was the case, then if they were really starting over, they should have traded Myles Garrett. But
I wrote that, and people lost their minds.
Another
See
story
you in
for another
overtime
day.
in 3 minutes.
See you later.
Peace.